Do you think that it would have been in our intelligence agency's best interest for you to be on that board?
No,
Not that they manipulated you, just do you think it would be in their best interest to have
in our intelligence days? I think it ends up being that it was in a lot of people's best interest, others that were not mine nor my father's.
So it could be
Yes.
that all of these things are true at the same time.
All of what things?
That intelligence agencies wanted you in there. That the guy that wanted protection, he wanted you in there for protection and also wheeling and dealing in the future.
Yeah, I think
that all these things, could be true at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that you're right, and I refrain from doing this in terms of like the whataboutism. Is that I didn't go work for the Ukrainian government. I didn't go work for instance, the Saudis. I didn't go work for the Albanians. I didn't go work for the Serbians. I didn't go work for the Emiratis. I didn't go work for the Qataris. I didn't take money for the purposes of changing U.S. policy as it relates to weapon systems or individuals that were murdered or anything like that. And I got paid a amount that I was transparent about what I got paid. I served my 5 years on the board, 3 of which were when my father was not in office in any shape or form. And then I left. And so whether those things could have happened as it relates to me, sure. Are those things happening not just in front of our faces, but like you might as well be coming and slapping us in the face. Mm-hmm. Jared Kushner is right now negotiating a peace deal with the Ukrainians and the Russians, with direct interest as it relates to the energy, the energy interest inside of Russia and their partners, whether it's in India, Saudi Arabia, or what's about to happen with Nord Stream pipeline. A direct interest of which he's been taking $2.5 billion from partners to impact those changes. I served on the board for 2 years. You have every email that I've ever sent, every text message that I've ever sent, every single communication that I have ever had, including during that period of time. And there is not a single communication other than the one thing that they hung their hat on is a guy that was in Washington, D.C. at the time, was the secretary to the board, said, "Hey, Hunter, thank you. It was nice meeting your dad." And when she was walking out of a restaurant, and my dad was walking into a restaurant with me, and I introduced the two of them. And that's it. I think they started an impeachment investigation over this.
I think one question that a lot of people have is the 10% for the big guy remark.
Not from me. And I'll tell you exactly what it was. It's from a guy named James Gilliard, along with Tony Bobulinski.
Bobulinski.
Yeah, Tony Bobulinski, who claims to have known me so well. You know how many times I met Tony Bobulinski? Maybe 4, maybe 3 times? In which I told him to go fuck himself, and that I wouldn't do business with him. In which they're negotiating a deal, not having, by the way, anything to do with Burisma. Nothing to do with Burisma. It had to do with a entity that was starting a U.S. entity of a Chinese energy firm, in which they wanted to partner and create an investment vehicle. And James Gilliard sends a email, not me, sends an email to 6 other people, including Tony Bobulinski, in which I'm CC'd on, in which he proposes equity splits, of which he says 10% for the big guy. And I don't know what James Gilliard was referring to, but I know this, is that structure, that proposed group of people, a proposed partnership to do like an energy, number one, was occurring when my dad was out of office and was not a candidate for president and was 2 years away from being vice president, and his career public service, according to everybody else, was over. So number one, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Number two, I didn't say that. And number 3, it never happened. So 10% for the big guy, go fuck yourself. But my dad has given, 32 years, 40 years of his tax returns. You have every tax return I've ever had.
How many do we have of Trump?
You can go find them on the internet. I had the DOJ, I had the FBI,
the House and Senate, Congressional,
I had the Oversight Committee, I had the Judiciary Committee, I had the Ways and Means Committee in both the House and the Senate. I had the U.S. Attorney's Office in L.A.
Every motherfucking congressional, senator, whatever the fuck, all the DOJ, Trump's personal fucking minions, all the internet sleuths, fucking Giuliani and their leaks and everything else. And at the end of all of that, we got 2 indictments. One was for overdue taxes that he'd already paid off. And the other was because he lied on a federal form because he bought a firearm when he was addicted to drugs. Not that he even did anything bad with it, but that he bought a firearm when he was addicted to drugs.
In D.C., in Baltimore, in Delaware, in Pittsburgh, all investigate me.
Holy shit.
All of them. At the behest of Donald Trump beginning in 2017. And what did they come up with? So you think...
What did they come up with? Meanwhile, Donald Trump has... how many times has Donald Trump testified relating to anything for the government? I'm counting through all of them in my head. You got 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. He did for that 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, I think never, right? Never? Not a single fucking time? And then you've got Hunter Biden, who is willing to show up and answer questions publicly when they say they'll question him, and then they threaten to have him jailed because they don't want him at the Capitol, whatever. Because we're not going to do this publicly. If we do that, it'll only be behind closed doors. Because they love those closed door hearings. They love those closed door hearings because then they can quote from it and say whatever the fuck they want, and the whole public has no concept or no clue of what the context was of anything being said in there.
That there is like some hidden 10% for the big guy because this motherfucker Tony Bobulinski, who's some wannabe soldier who tried to convince me that he was a part of did what you did, was one of those guys. Maybe he is. I don't know. But all I know is every guy that I've ever met that did what you did never told me that they did what you did, or tried to impress upon me that they did. And that's why I told Tony to go fuck himself.
Fuck.
And never did a deal with anybody that suggested 10% for the big guy, which, by the way, again, occurred when my dad was neither vice president nor president and was never going to be in public life again, even if he was. So I'm not blaming James Gilliard. If James Gilliard sent that, and his intent was maybe he's going to be able to get the former vice president of the United States to be, somehow involved in this, then why would he be able to say that? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He's selling. I mean, I will be surprised if when they leave this White House that the copper pipes are still in the walls. I'm not joking. It is the most openly corrupt, and everything that they do, Sean, is projection or confession. So I'll say it to you again, is that I believe that it was a mistake because I was very, very naive about what a viper's den Ukraine is. What an absolute, talk about a level of corruption that I'm still staggering. Because they're part of a kleptocracy, of a greater kleptocracy, which is, what? Russia is nothing more than a country a gas station masquerading as a country, as John McCain used to say, with one person that is the ultimate Don of all Dons. And I don't mean Trump's, I mean Dons. And that's Putin. So getting involved in that, anyway, even though it was through a private company, even though I served on the board, even though you have every communication I've ever had, even though you have testimony, thousands of hours of testimony from anybody that's worked with my dad, under oath, by the way.
Under oath.
Under oath. So, when Tony Bobulinski, under oath, went before the Oversight Committee, what did he have to say? What did he have to say? What crime under oath did he accuse me of?
He didn't.
He didn't, because he was under oath. But then you know what he did? He went on to Fox News and Tucker Carlson and accused me of crimes. And then Devin went to, Tucker, and he literally stuck his lips around the ass of Don Jr. and Eric, and he got a pardon out of it. And so did his partner that ripped off the Indian tribes to the tune of millions and millions and millions of dollars, of which they were absolved from having to pay back. I think it was close to $100 million. I don't know the exact number, so don't sue me. I really don't. And I don't know anything about it other than is that everybody under oath, everybody in the court of law. Look, I had a special prosecutor.
Oh, and the special prosecutor. True.
A independent investigation from a special prosecutor, the only U.S. attorney left in the United States that was appointed by Donald Trump, that my dad left in place.
Yep.
And when he was U.S. attorney in Delaware, he came to the conclusion that no charges should be brought against me. And I went to we came to a resolution in which I was going to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanors of failing to file my taxes on time because I'd already paid them back with penalties and interest. I paid over $800,000 in interest and penalties. Because during 2016 and 17 or 15 and 16, I forget because the years, is that I literally was out of my mind. And I thought that it was being taken care of me. Whatever the reason, I didn't pay my taxes. And when I figured out that I did in 2019, when I came out of recovery, the first thing I did, I went to an accountant and I said, I got to figure out my taxes. And they gave me the number at the end of the day. And as soon as I got the number of what I owed with penalties and interest, I went to the United States government and I borrowed the money and I sent them the check. 4 years later, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 5 years later, 3 days before the statute of limitations ran, they charged me after coming to a negotiated settlement with me and a plea deal. They blow up the plea deal because MAGA went nuts, and they decided to charge me with 7 counts of tax evasion that would have resulted in over 35 years in prison for taxes that I paid with penalties and interest. I can't find one single case as precedent in which someone similarly situated was ever charged.
Oh.
Roger Stone didn't pay taxes.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if he's familiar with fucking Roger Stone's case, because Roger Stone was using his wife. He was using his wife and I think her business, or his ex-wife and her business, to actually hide the amount that he owed. And I don't think he was even charged with a misdemeanor. I think it was just a negotiated payment plan with the IRS, and that was it. And he knows it. Fuck, the Hunter guy is smart. He knows a lot of shit, and he's educated in these fields too. And I like listening to him talk about politics and law and business and everything, because he's not just a fucking retard podcaster. Ugh.
Case as precedent in which someone similarly situated was ever charged. Roger Stone didn't pay taxes for I think like 8 years, and had secret bank accounts.
Yes. Yep.
At the same time, secret foreign bank accounts, I believe. And I'm like, I don't know, Roger. So again. and they came to a settlement. They never, the United States government
Didn't
never
charge him,
informed
no
me
misdemeanor, no
that I was
felony,
being audited.
nothing.
They never audited me. I informed them. We called them and said, hey, we can't find the transcripts. My accountants did for 2017 or 17 and 18. I forget what the 2 years are. Yeah, 17 and 18, because I went into 19. And they said, huh. And then we figured out that my accountant had done the taxes and sent them to an office that was empty, and then he died. My accountant. So I got a new accountant in LA when I came out of my 2 years
How convenient for you.
of
Who killed him?
crack addiction.
How did he die?
And I took care of the wreckage of the past. And I took responsibility for what I did. And that's why they
That tax accountant's name? Seth Richards.
decided that they were not going to charge me because they couldn't find any criminal.
Please go still tax Hunter for the taxes thing? How can you take him for the taxes thing? No, you're lying. Shut the fuck up.
intent in what I did, or any way in which I was truly trying to evade my taxes, because I came to them. But they blew up the plea deal, and they not only charged me with that, but then they charged me with a 922 G3
Seth Rich.
violation.
My
It's
bad.
never been used against anybody except me, other than people that go and purchase a gun in the commission of a violent felony, in which they also find that they can show that they were addicted to a substance or
When they
user
bought
of
the firearm.
a Schedule 1 substance.
Shit.
Ever. How many people that you know smoke pot? You
And the
know,
most annoying thing, by the way, because believe it or not, I've never even talked to Hunter Biden before, not a single time, and I knew all these things. Yeah, that's right. I could have. Yeah, it did scare. I could have wasted your ass. You should be dead right now. I should kill you just on principle. Just kidding. I would never do that. I bet this Sean Ryan guy's literally never heard this. Whoo, look at that guy go down. I bet he's never heard any of these facts in his entire fucking life. This is like the first time he's heard any of this. And all this information is so easily available.
guns regularly.
A lot.
A lot, right? They're all in violation of 922 G3. Every single one of them.
Joe Rogan, bring him up.
They charge me with 3
Name
different
him.
charges under that. Again, 35 years in prison. 3 different charges. No, I challenge anybody out there. Find anyone else. And by the way, the Supreme Court's about to overturn the constitutionality of 922 G3 based on Second Amendment and Bruin and the case of money. And so it's not going to even be, I think, constitutionally viable within the next 4 months.
Wow.
But they took that and they charged me with it. Now, how fair do you think that is when the only way that they became informed of the fact that
Because
I
of my
purchased the guns
book!
is through a group message
Oh, wait,
from
never
a
mind,
gun
never
shop
mind.
owner,
Just kidding.
Don Jr., and a former state police officer that had heard a story about me throwing away, someone throwing away a gun that I'd purchased 10 days before, that I owned for 10 days.
Oh.
In a lockbox, in my truck. That was
When he said heard a story, my understanding was, maybe this isn't true, or maybe this is too much. I mean, but my understanding is the only reason that story was out there is because he wrote about it in his memoirs or whatever, his book, and that's how people knew that he had a gun. And then they tried to put the timelines together, and then they were like, "Oh my God, when he bought this gun, he must have been addicted to drugs." Meaning he lied on the form that you fill out when you buy a firearm. You have to say you're not using or addicted to any drugs at the time, so that
was never loaded and never fired. 5 years later.
Wow.
5 years later.
And that's how that came about?
Yeah.
So, a conversation with 3 people.
So, according to the, there's this incredible investigative reporter that like dug up all of this stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
Incredible. They put it on some right-wing blog. And then the U.S. attorney came to it, and you know what the U.S. attorney did? Is
Maybe-
they came to the right decision.
maybe he didn't put it in his
after
book? I don't know.
3 years of that investigation, in which they'd been investigating me for over 5 years. And they came to first a non-prosecution agreement, and then it was called a diversion agreement, saying technically they believe that I violated the law. So I would agree not to buy a gun. And
They spent 3 years investigating whether you
did
did
Burisma
any drugs
shit
when you
or
bought that weapon.
they never found that I did drugs when I did that weapon. You know
Or
what they
that
did?
too, yeah.
They put me in front of a jury, and they took my book,
oh, this is where
and
the
they
book
played
thing
the
comes in. There
audio
it is.
version of my book, in which I talk about my addiction during that period of time.
There it is.
And they just mash it all together. Now, 922 G3 under any standard is a state of mind question, right? Are you addicted to, or are you a user of a controlled substance? Well, I may have been an addict in the past. Am I addicted to, or a user of a controlled substance? Right now, if I went to your range and fired a gun, would I be in violation of 922 G3?
No.
No. According to their standard, I am. And I will forever be. Have you had, or do you have friends that have struggled with alcohol or illegal substances that have owned guns during that period of time?
Yes, I do.
And do you know people personally that may have had substance abuse problems that owned guns at that time? And do you believe that the federal government should have the right to put them in jail for 10 years if on a form they said when they bought the weapon that they truly believed that they'd overcome their addiction? Because no addict believes that they're an addict when they're not using.
I don't even like the way that Hunter is phrasing it here. He's phrasing it like the wording is much weaker on the form. Yeah, I think the wording is something along the lines of like, are you addicted to, or are you an unlawful user of any federally banned substance or any narcotic. And then I think they even put in parentheses, like, even if marijuana is legal in your state, it's still a federally banned substance. And I don't know what the fuck that means, right? I don't, like, let's say that you smoke marijuana, and then let's say the next day you go to buy a gun. Are you currently a user of, if you're not high at that moment, are you a user of marijuana? Or what if you smoked it last week? It's a very vague question. It just seems like, but generally I feel like it's usually like an accessory charge. Like, that's usually, like you said, if you kill somebody and you're like high when you kill them and they find out you bought the gun a few days ago and you're probably high when you bought the gun, like they'll just like throw it on there. It's not usually a thing that you solo go after people for. I couldn't find any examples of them ever just charging somebody solely with that crime, but
it didn't matter. They wanted to get me for something, so they got me for something. And what they did is they embarrassed me. They spent the entire trial. And for instance, you said that you wanted to talk about the relationship that I have with my sister-in-law. Like, my God, I'll tell you what, they put her on the stand. Talk about my addiction. It was fucking awful. It was awful. And one of the most difficult things for me in my entire life is how much I fucked that up. I mean, two people in a state of grief, out of their fucking minds, me in particular, thinking that they had found the solution to the bleak, the positions that they found themselves in the thing that they love the most. And that's all I can say. And it was an enormous mistake, and I take full responsibility for it. And I am beyond embarrassed what I put my family through. Beyond embarrassed what I put my family through. But in the moment, it was not some, like, sick whatever. It was literally grasping for some, like, for life. For grasping for something. Grasping for some chance at living again. But you know what? Like, you judge me? Not you. Just anybody? You've never known anybody to be able to go through, like, a grief like that? And it's fucked up. You do fucked up things. I certainly did, and I've been paying for them. I've been paying for them for a long time now. And I'm done killing myself over it.
good.
I think that there is a side to what happened there that nobody's heard. And that's why I want to bring that up. Because I think that is part of your redemption. I think people need to hear that.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because the way it's described in there is definitely not the way it's described in the media.
No.
And without injecting my opinion on anything, I think it's going to change a lot of opinions when they hear all of the details, when they hear the story, when they hear why, when they hear what you were going through, when they hear what she was going through. It just paints. It's a different picture than what has been portrayed through the media.
Yeah. And I will. I mean, we can talk about it, but I will tell you this: is that in many ways, part of it's not my story to tell, and the level of pain that that caused my family, and by the way, and still does, in terms of is something that is really, 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 really it's tough. But I can tell you this: it was not. And I almost don't feel like I owe. I understand what you're saying. Is owe these people.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, your redemption. Redemption to who? Redeeming of what? Like, fuck you. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a crazy. Like, all these random people who don't give a fuck about literally any principle or value in the universe have slandered and attacked you for like a decade. Now you need to redeem yourself. It's like, what? Suck my dick.
The judge think that they have a judgment about it, an explanation in any way other than this. Is it two people desperate to find a way out and clung to each other as being the nearest thing to the thing that they both valued the most in the world and lost. And that's the answer to that. And it was an attempt to keep something alive that was permanently dead. And just a gigantic miscalculation about the way in which that would impact the ecosystem of the rest of my family. And I am, all I know is this, is that it is not, it has been harder on everybody else than it has been on me. And, but I think that we're, in a place that's very different now, in which there's been a lot of healing. But, I take full accountability for that.
Is Bo's death what sent you down the path of addiction?
I think that what it did is it sent me down the path of addiction. There's anything, I don't know if your experience as it relates to addiction to people in your life, your own life, is that you don't need much of an excuse to use. It could be sunny, it could be raining. You could be up, you could be down.
Be down in Arc Raiders.
But what Bo's death did do to me was it sent me down a path of nihilism that I'd never experienced before, in which nothing mattered, and when it all fell apart. And in the immediate aftermath of Bo's death, there was a sense of real purpose. But then, my marriage of 22 years began to falter, and I ended up on my own for the first time in my life, literally, in terms of living alone for the first time in my life. Because remember, I left, went to college, the Jesuit Volunteer Corps, got married, had a baby, had 2 more, and I, in that period of time, directly after Bo's death, is that I didn't have the availability of my dad for the first time in my life, and that he was so like me. I mean, grief is a solitary journey in many ways. As much as you try to cling to people, I think one of the reasons that people, when they lose a child or a couple, is that they sometimes lose each other. And for a period of time there, I felt like I'd lost my dad. I felt like I'd lost the entire structure of my existence. Yeah. And so I'm, and I grasped towards one thing that was, and not in a nefarious, prurient way in any way, to someone that was the nearest thing to what my brother was, and we I think grasped for each other, and my addiction completely 100% fucked that up, and it was awful, and so I do know that Bo's death didn't make me an addict, but by my own actions, by the circumstances that I found myself in, by the depths to which I didn't think that there was a way out, it certainly was a factor in what sent me down a rabbit hole that I'd never gone before, which was completely wanting to disappear from the face of the earth.
Jesus.
It was awful. I think that people have this vision of, that it's kind of funny when Marjorie Taylor Greene shows pictures of me and naked and by the way, 90% of which is aren't selfies. People taking pictures of me passed out in a bathtub with a crack pipe. I wasn't taking pictures of myself remotely while I was passed out, and but whatever the case may be, is I don't do anything but cry when I think about those times, not for anybody but myself. I mean, it was truly demoralizing. I mean, I am what people I don't think fully comprehend about addiction, if they're not the direct addict, that sometimes can take you to a place in which all you're doing is just thinking about getting high, or thinking about how you're going to get high, thinking about how you're going to cover up getting high, or thinking about how you're going to come down from getting high. And then it becomes just this round the clock thing in which it's not even about getting high. It's about not dying. It's literally about the feeling that I cannot get up from this bed unless somebody hands me a drink in order for my body to function. And that's the level to which I found myself for a long period of time. I mean, relatively, in anyone's life. Like the fact that I didn't die, I believe is a miracle.
How many times do you think you were close to death?
Dozens. Whether it was by, finding my places in which people were pulling guns on me, to putting. One time I woke up in a, face down in a pool. And I don't remember that, but that's what they told me. I by anybody's standards was. I talk about it
Very descriptive.
in the book, and the reason is, people kind of make fun of me about that when I talk about I search the carpet for drugs, and the point of the story is not that it's some fucking funny story for you to laugh about, and Laura Ingraham to go ha ha ha, he's a crackhead, and Donnie Jr. and these guys are all fucking tough guys that because they go to UFC fights. I tell those stories because I'm positive that people write me and say thank you, thanks for sharing that. Because in the program that I come from, is that the one thing that keeps you trapped is your secrets. Is the things that you did in the dark that nobody else knows about except the people that you were in that motel room with.
True.
Crawling on the floor.
That's why I'm glad people know I'm a rapist. I'm just kidding. Video game.
So your hands,
Just kidding.
bloody. If I can tell you that in front of everybody and write a book about it, and my dad's the president of the United States, and I came from a place of incredible privilege. What I'm trying to tell you is that you have nothing to be ashamed of if you then figured out how to get clean and sober. All I have is respect for you. Doesn't mean that I don't think that you should be held accountable for the shit that you did that was stupid while you were high. But I want to tell you something, is that if you were me, calling through the cut down in, at 3 a.m. in downtown LA, with a gun to your head, begging somebody to sell you crack, and you made it out of that, fucking more power to you. And fuck anybody that fucking would make fun of you for it. You can't talk to anybody about it. Fuck you. And fuck all those people that judge over it. You can judge me for the decisions that I made and for the...
One thing that Hunter's really good about doing that I've said is like a huge problem with a lot of people is finding lots of fucking crack cocaine and banging hot prostitutes. Some people have a really hard time as accepting like negative aspects of themselves or mistakes that they've made while also still loving themselves, like not hating themselves over it. So it causes, there's like two roads that a lot of people go down. One is the road of being based, where you just never admit fault for anything ever, and you just blame everybody around you until you get into some self-destructive cycle where you either kill yourself, get killed, or you basically hit rock bottom. Sorry. Oh, I need some crack. And then the second thing is where people will rewrite like any bad quality about themselves as actually being secretly like a good thing. Jesus, sorry. I almost died. Oh my God. And it feels really hard for somebody to simultaneously say like, here's a decision I've made or an aspect of myself, like this was just bad, it was negative, there's not much of an upside, it was just a mistake or a bad thing. But also like, I don't fucking hate myself. You know, like I'm not like the worst person in the world and it's possible to get through whatever things. Hunter seems to be really good at balancing out that. Where the fuck did these 50 million fucking robots come from? Does this place count as inside? Jesus. Okay.
Fuck ups. But I've been paying the price, and I take responsibility for those things. And I fully have been transparent about it. For the pure purpose is that we are only as sick as our secrets, man. And I know that what the gift that has been given to me is that I don't have any more secrets. Not a
True.
one. Not a one.
True. Come at
Wow.
me. True.
I live the same fucking way. I was not expecting to like you this much.
Well,
I mean, dude,
But like, why not? Like, this guy is a million times more interesting, a million times more honest, a million times cooler, has done better things in his life than just Trump is literally the definition, and his kids are just like worthless fuck loser fuck nepo babies who just all suck. And it's just like so obvious. Like how like what kind of a life have you lived? Like that's just not like the most immediately obvious thing in the world. Like how much of losers like all these fucking millionaire kids are. Ugh.
we got a lot more time. I can fuck that up. I promise.
I mean, I mean,
Kushner doesn't seem that bad, right? Kushner doesn't count. That's a son-in-law. Okay, that dude is from everything I've seen of Kushner. Is he Jewish or whatever? I don't know where it comes from. Kushner has more IQ than the entire fucking family combined. Forget, I don't know if he, for whatever shit related to that, Saudi Arabia, the MBS investments into his business, I don't know if he did improper shit there or not. I bring it up because it seems like a clear conflict of interest. But just listening to Kushner speak, the Kushner dudes is like a million times more intelligent than any of those fucking Trump losers. Don Jr. or fucking Eric, these guys, they sound retarded when you listen to these guys. They sound like the bad guys in any evil henchman story, like the retarded bad guys. Yeah, I don't know, but he's doing all the corruption in the world for Trump. Listen, I can at least respect, like, I can respect you, okay? Even if I think you're evil. I respect Putin. Everybody should have some amount of respect for Putin. But then some people are just, they're evil and stupid. Like Trump. Oh, God. Whatever.
I'm not fucking around, man. I live by that. I have talked about damn near everything publicly, and I don't have any secrets left.
Really?
But I've talked about how fucked up I was on my cocaine addiction, on my benzos, on my sleeping pills, on my booze, on my womanizer, all of it. It's all
King.
fucking out there.
King.
And you know, when I
I
realized
don't know much about him. Maybe he is, actually. I don't know.
is every fucking skeleton in that closet that you release out into the world,
Hey, you can send him up.
it's like freeing part of your soul, man.
Yeah.
Because what are you
Freedom,
gonna do?
man.
Come at me? I don't give a fuck. It's
Hell
all out
yeah.
there. I got nothing left to lose, buddy.
And by the
You know
way,
what I
it
mean?
doesn't mean that you're fucking proud of it.
Yeah.
What it means is that you're free of it.
You're free of it, and it also sets an example for others to follow. And just like you just said, you know, coming from where you've come from, with your dad being the president of the United States, I mean, that is a tremendous amount of shame because of the expectations that have been put on you by society because of the position that your family members are in.
Yeah.
And so to come out and to have the courage to say, yeah, I fucked this up. This is what happened. This is the description. This is how I saw it, and this is how I lived. And to be that open about it, I mean, then I know how much courage that is. Actually, maybe I don't, because I don't have any family members in that type of position. But I mean, I'm in an influential position, and to come clean on all of those things. And I mean, shit, just the other day I had to do something where I fucked something up, and I talked shit about somebody that a group of people that I shouldn't have. I had to come clean. I did it.
The Jews.
Also did the same damn thing to Kamala Harris, who I couldn't fucking stand, and I did a public apology. Anyways, addictions and all of that stuff, and how bad it gets, and scrounging around for drugs and going to get more, and the thrill of finding it, and all. I mean, I could go for days about that stuff, but and maybe we will.
Yeah.
But I do want to commend you, you know, for coming clean and being that open about it, because most people will never see that kind of courage.
I really appreciate that. I really mean it. I know that you're surprised by that, but coming from you, that means a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Let's take a break.
Yeah, man.
My days don't slow down. Between work, the gym, and time with the kids, I need eyewear that can keep up with everything I've got going on. And that's why I trust Roka. I've tried plenty of shades before, but these stand out. They're built for performance
You think that's
without
real in
sacrificing
him, or is that
style.
an AI
I've put them
Sean
through it
Ryan?
all,
What do
on
you
the
think?
range, out on the water, and off-road. They don't quit. They're lightweight, stay locked in place, and are tough enough to handle whatever I throw at them. And the best part, they
Why
don't
are
just
you throwing
perform,
things
they
at
look
them?
incredible. Sleek, modern,
What?
and designed for people who expect more from their eyewear.
what?
No fluff, no gimmicks, just premium frames that deliver every single time. And that's why Roka is what I grab when I'm heading out the door.
Oh, no,
Born
I
in
think
Austin,
that's real. I think
Texas,
it's real.
they're
I think it's
American designed with zero shortcuts. Razor sharp optics, no glare, and all-day comfort that doesn't quit. And if you need prescription lenses, they've got
What the fuck is this dude's outfit? Bro, you look like you're from Midsummer. What the fuck? What the fuck? That guy looks like a fucking... New skin? What?
you covered with both sunglasses and eyeglasses. One brand, all your bases. Roka isn't just eyewear, it's confidence you can wear every
What the fuck? Go back. The guy with the sniper looks like Charlie Kirk, the guy in the ad.
all-day comfort that doesn't quit. And if you need prescription lenses,
Wait, which
they've
one?
got you covered. I'm heading out. No gimmicks, just premium frames that deliver every single time. And that's why Roka is what I grab when I'm heading out the door. Born in Austin, Texas, they're American designed with zero shortcuts. Razor sharp optics, no glare, and all-day comfort that doesn't quit. And if you need prescription lenses,
up.
they've got you covered with both sunglasses and eyeglasses. One brand, all your bases. Roka isn't just eyewear, it's confidence you can wear every day. They're the
Destiny, he can't see when ADSing with that outfit. Have you seen the memes? Wait, what? No?
real deal. Ready to upgrade your eyewear? Check them out for yourself at Roka.com and use code SRS for 20% off site-wide at checkout. That's ROKA.com. Want to stay up to date on all things SRS? You bet your ass you do. Our newsletter brings you the latest SRS news and critical updates. Get instant alerts on the newest episodes. Never miss a beat. Exclusive intel briefs from counterterrorism expert Sarah Adams.
Yeah, black screen, Destiny. It's kind of sad since it looks cool. Wait, what are you guys talking about?
You've seen her many times on the show. She's going to give unfiltered insights on global terrorist activity.
Whoa.
Patreon exclusives, you're going to get epic range days with me and
The gold skin you just saw? Oh, it blocks stuff on the screen? Oh, because of the ear sticking out on that. Well, who cares? Shut the fuck up. Yeah, what you sacrifice for drip. True. Top comment. I agree.
damn near every guest that's come in the studio. You're also going to get behind-the-scenes content and guest updates. You're going to get first dibs on new merch drops and limited edition items that will never be sold again.
Damn.
Plus, exclusive offers from our partners you won't find anywhere else. So subscribe to the Vigilance Elite newsletter right now.
You better subscribe, guys.
All right, Hunter, we're back from the break.
Yeah,
Getting ready to dive into the life of a crack addict.
absolutely.
Mine was
Jesus.
Coke.
Yeah.
But I'll dive in there with you. And
Same thing, just a little bit different.
yeah. Well, you started with coke, right?
Ooh, cokeheads really don't like when you compare cocaine to crack.
Yeah.
It's like cocaine and crack is like girls that do Fansly versus girls that do OnlyFans. Where you're like, oh, you did cocaine, isn't that like crack? You do like, oh, Fansly, isn't that like OnlyFans? Oh, no. I don't do OnlyFans. I do Fansly. Big difference, okay? Big difference, okay? Crack? I did cocaine, okay? Oh, like smoke cocaine? No, powder cocaine, okay? Gee, what do you think I'm a fucking crack? Are you crazy? Why would you even say that?
I mean, basically, but when I really, I went,
Wait, let me get my food use restroom. Hold on one sec. Who are we? Don't forget.
I went straight to crack when I decided that I was gonna drop off the face of the earth.
Go full time.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you? I'm just curious. Did you partake in any drug use as a child?
Yeah. I tried everything, but I didn't. Nothing stuck. Nothing stuck like alcohol.
Nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I had tried coke. The one drug that I'm 100% certain that I'm incapable of handling.
Which one?
Pot.
Really?
Just
Are you
literally-
serious?
I mean, like a great addict is like, I am absolutely certain of it because after 400 failed attempts and being curled in a ball, hugging my, on the tile floor in the bathroom, it literally makes it's one of the only drugs I clearly cannot in any way metabolize without it literally turning me into a complete and utter incompetent.
I just turned into a total fat ass on that. Can't stop fucking eating.
I literally become so anxiety ridden. It's really
Well, that happens too. My friend Eddie Gallagher posted a diagram of a joint once, and it was basically like, the first little bit is it's all good. The next little bit, maybe a little bit of paranoia. The next little bit, oh shit, the cop. And then the last little bit is like, the CIA's fucking coming to get me. And that was like, damn, dude, that's like right on the money. Yeah. But, I don't want to make like a joke out of the whole situation, but, but sometimes you kind of have to. That's just how you get through it. And at least for me, I've got really dark sense of humor. But, with my addiction, I was a boozer since high school, but I didn't do any hard drugs until my 30s.
Yeah. I mean, I had tried. There was no real, prevalent availability. And, I played sports. And so, in football season, we tried not to even drink and high school. But I tried cocaine when I was in high school and then not throughout college. I dabbled maybe in, but it wasn't really around. It was almost, my problem was alcohol. And it remained alcohol until I walked into that park, which I describe in the book. I left I was in an outpatient program, which I was committed to, and I relapsed. And I was in the middle of a divorce and separated. And I had spent, I'd done everything to try to get back. And I'd gone to 45 days of an inpatient program. And then I did about 3 months of a sober coach in which I blew into a breathalyzer that took your picture whenever the sober coach would call, with a commitment, that if I failed it, that I would go back into treatment, and I did that, and then that wasn't good enough for whatever reason, and so then I committed to doing an outpatient program, which was 5 days a week, and about 5 hours a day from like 8 to 2, and I relapsed, and I told them that I relapsed, and they wanted me to take they wanted me to pee in a cup. And I said, look, I relapsed. I used cocaine, but I drank primarily, and I used cocaine. But that's what I did. I'm telling you. I didn't want it as any part of a record in which what people don't fully understand is the kind of it's the conundrum that some addicts find themselves in treatment facilities that are also facing like legal issues or divorces or things like that, is that it's not protected by HIPAA. So you can go into a rehab and be in the middle of a divorce and have all of those records.
Gotcha.
That could be subpoenaed, or if you're in a civil, like so many, which is a real, I think, oversight on the part of people as it relates to privacy and getting people to be as honest as possible. And so I was like, look, I'm telling you, I relapsed. I mean, what's the difference if you have they said, well, you can't come back if you don't take the test. And I said, but I'm admitting to you what I did. And they said, no, it's just our policy. Unless you submit to the test, you can't come back. So I walked out, and it was in downtown DC, and I went over to Lincoln Park, and not far from the White House. My dad at this point was not in office or anything, but it was between the apartment that I was renting and Shaw, and I saw somebody in the park that I recognized from literally years and years ago. But she was kind of a famous person. Her name was Bicycles. Everybody called her Bicycles, and I said, "Can you give me crack?" And she did, and when I say she was a kind of a very well-known, like homeless, semi-homeless kind of drug user, and like bicycled up and down,
Like a character almost.
Yeah, she was a total character. Yeah. Everybody knew her, and not everybody didn't know her. I knew of her, and 5 months later, she was had the keys to my apartment, and we'd become using buddies for an extended period of time, and it's everything that they say that it is, and nobody fully I think, captures the power of crack cocaine, nor explains it correctly. It's all so wrapped up in a lot of prejudice and bias based upon kind of the racial profile that people that, some of the crack addicts and, at least if you're from my generation in the 90s, in which if, it was introduced to the streets and just tore communities apart. And the thing that truly tore communities apart was not necessarily the addiction, it was the response to it. And so anyway, long story short is that's, I actively sought out the thing that I thought was the most destructive thing that I could do to myself at that moment in time, beyond physically harming myself.
What was it that took you to rehab? What was it that made you want to get better? Like, what was the realization?
Finally, at the end, I mean, that was in 2000. I think I get my years a little bit mixed up, but that was a year after Bo's death, 2016, where I basically stayed sober and attempted to stay sober for that year period in which I was under the care of somebody, a professional. And the thing that wanted me to stay sober and clean is my family. Is that my 3 oldest daughters are like they're my whole world, and I was an enormous, I was like a constant presence in her life because for the vast majority of it, I was clean and sober. And I was not a user or a drinker in that I would ever kind of do it around them. I don't think that there are more than maybe a handful of times, and I can't speak for them. All I can say is this, is that I was a very present parent. And then all of a sudden I was gone. All of a sudden I was completely unavailable. And I don't think there's anything more traumatic that you can do than that. And so to be there and then not be there.
Have you been able to redeem yourself to your daughters for that?
I can't be the judge of whether I've redeemed myself, but all I know is that we have a very, very, very close relationship. But again, it's literally I think the worst thing that I could possibly do is speak for anybody else that has suffered because of somebody else's addiction.
Wait, why would you? Indiana GOP Senate leader Chris Garton posted AI pics of himself beating up Santa Claus on Christmas. He then called everyone snowflakes who complained. Why? People were liking me some Sean Ryan tweets. Three countries taking a stand against pedophiles. The United States is not one of them. Russia, Indonesia, and Kazakhstan. Okay. June 27, 2024. They should have put Zelensky on the debate stage instead of Biden. At least he's coherent. He's controlling more of this country than Biden ever did anyways. Oh my God. Good one. Quick Hassan slop.
This doesn't look like stalking. It looks like public harassment. No. It is public harassment, but it's also stalking because there were different instances where that same guy was like pursuing him. And it's very clear that he doesn't want to be around him. And even at a different time, that guy had approached him when he was out in public. It is stalking, whether you want to admit it or not. It truly is stalking. Stop calling him a stalker. He's a human being. Are you okay? Are you trying to rage bait me? Is that what's going on? That's a stalker, brother. You're saying a dumbass stalker and got killed is all fine? I don't think he got killed. What do you mean? Are you rage baiting? He fucking murdered a person? Are you rage baiting? Stop calling him dehumanizing things, though. He's a stalker. That doesn't mean we should normalize your language here. Wait, what? I'm being rage baited, right? Collectively, because this is not a one guy situation right now. This is a chat is off the perky. Hassan going to his right wing turn went counter racism from his streamer friends and just encouraging violence when Creek streamers thrive on that shit. Nah, you're all joking. Okay, this is funny. All right, enough, please. School's out of session, so all the kids are in here? No.
Based.
substitute for war.
You'd think we'd have more presidents. The Catholics.
Yeah, they only had one.
Biden,
Right?
too.
Oh, Biden's Catholic.
We got Biden.
Allegedly.
True. We only got one. He got shot, and then Biden was doing auto sign. Give us a good one.
Yeah. You got anybody in mind?
Fuentes.
Nick Fuentes? He could probably win in a few years.
Hold on, let's talk.
Listen, he couldn't have existed before, right? 10, 20 years ago, couldn't have existed. Now, super popular. What's 20 years from now look like? You know, maybe someone like that can win.
Well, we'll see.
I gotta pee so bad. We gotta wrap this up anyway.
I'm
sorry,
down.
4:18.
We got that one at the buzzer.
Yeah. Well, listen, I will say this about it. It's fascinating to watch that there's like a whole group of people that feel very unrepresented in the world. And especially like young men. And here you got this young guy with a very high verbal IQ. And he also does a lot of shit posting, a lot of talking shit, a lot of trolling, says women shouldn't be allowed to vote, says wild shit. And that Piers Morgan thing is like, bro, that was like an expert sparring with someone who thought they were an expert.
Sure.
Like they're playing two totally different
agree.
games.
And
What? But I have a feeling he's referring to these people exactly the opposite as I would hope he is.
it's also the thing that people try to get Fuentes on is that he's still funny as fuck.
It's funny.
So that's where you're in a lot of trouble.
When he hits him, do you think you made jokes about the Holocaust? He goes, too soon? Like, dude. And you could see
He's wild.
You could see Piers going, oh fuck.
Bro, when he was like, me mom died. I was like, holy shit.
Bro, he got hit. He got hit with a missile on that one. Too soon? Too soon, I was like, oh my God.
I don't know if this... They're doing the thing again where they're like, this is a problem because if he's funny, people might find him to be more politically acceptable than they would otherwise. But it's you. You're describing yourselves. You're not describing other people. You're describing yourselves. What? Why are you pretending otherwise?
Look at these AI Christmas toys. We're so cooked.
Here are
Is
some
this?
commonly used tools that people might choose for impact play.
Taiwan is an inalienable part of China's territory.
Oh yeah. No. I want that one. The one that the Chinese AI one is sick. The Chinese AI one I heard about, I saw like that is, I don't even know if it's real or not, but I want it. Like I hope it's real and I want to buy it. I've been trying to figure it out.
A cactus friend who looks just like a fluffy teddy bear.
Milu, is Taiwan its own country or does it belong to China?
Taiwan is an inalienable part of China's territory.
That's so sick. That is unironically the coolest fucking toy. Like, that is unironically the coolest fucking toy. Just think about how rare this is, okay? That the new Labubus that have like Chinese AI in it have like a automatic, China, Taiwan belongs to China statements that it delivers.
This is an established fact.
Okay. I hope he's getting paid for it. Also, hot take. Why a light shield? Because this can only have a light shield. Hot take. The guy that got ran over by the Cybertruck, fuck him, dude. Fuck him! That's a fuck around and find out situation. Why are you jumping on some fucking dude's car and following him around? You're a fucking weirdo. Get ran over? Now, if he backed up and ran over him twice, that'd say too far, okay? One time, yeah.
big of a deal. Oh, yeah, just general bad comments towards women. Yeah, like, I mean, it's just bad, like the grab them by the pussy stuff. It's just, so the reason why I'm kind of going through this, and this is the stuff, right, is that these are things that there is no defense for. Actually, you know what? I'll take Israel off the list here. There is no defense for any of these things that is valid. There isn't. There's no defense for this, period. Like, it's just purely bad.
How many of these did you know about before supporting him on his second term? Well, the Epstein stuff was before this term, no? Weird comments about his daughter were years ago. Teen pageant stuff long time ago. J6 long time ago. He said he was going to pardon them a long time ago. I don't know if we ever did H-1B visa shit. I think the crypto coin was announced after he was elected. Trying to sell a million things. He did that for his first term. General bad, like, hello? Almost every single thing you knew here before the second election. The thing that I hate the most about this guy is his audience is going to give him so much suck jobness when they're like, Asmongold is like so nonpartisan. I love that he's like willing to call out Trump in criticism too. I love how like objective he is. He's so not biased because he's willing to call out Trump on these things. And it's like, he's just so cool and how neutral and objective he is. And it's like, motherfucker, all this shit was known, you fucking retard. All this shit was known beforehand. What are you talking about?
There's nothing else beyond that. Tariffs? Yeah, Israel, well, no. Huh?
Huh. Clips show the stream sniper, whom Clavicular ran over, repeatedly stalking, harassing, and assaulting streamers, including Clav, on multiple occasions prior to the incident.
Bro. Yo, get off the property, bro.
Bro, I'm trying to gamble with you, Sweater.
Get off the property.
Sweater, I want to gamble with you.
Bro, get off the property, bro.
Game, you know this is not
Get off
property.
the... I don't care.
I just want to gamble with
Bro, get off the property.
you. I can't gamble with you?
No, get the fuck off.
Never mind. He could have ran over him twice and I would have been okay with it.
Off my property.
Huh? Huh? What's up? What's up?
Jesus Christ, bro. Okay, this guy should probably get arrested too, though.
What's up with it? Huh?
Why are you streaming this?
Let's go right now.
Is that airsoft?
Let's fucking go. Let's go. Come back.
We work hard for our people. We work hard for our moms. Don't call us our niggas. Don't fucking touch me. Don't fucking touch me. Don't fucking touch me. Don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me. Do not touch me. Don't put your hands on me. Don't touch me. I don't give a fuck. Don't touch me. Why are you touching me for? Don't touch me. Put your hands down.
What? Did he walk into his hand? I say, wait.
Don't touch me. I don't give a fuck. Don't touch me. Why are you touching me for? Don't touch me. Put your hands down. Don't touch me. Just go. Just go. Don't touch me.
Why? It reminds me of this. It reminds me of this thing.
Get the camera out of my face.
Oh, you think it's too dirty? TV's too dirty? For the children? Are those your thoughts?
Yo,
and opinions? We're doing it for the children.
Yo, why you got the camera on me, son?
Look, we're trying to learn about it for the kids.
What are you trying to learn?
Well, why are you following the camera around? That's what I don't understand.
But you got the camera in my face, man.
Well, you want to be on it, it seems like. I just want to get your opinion for the children.
Please, I'm begging you nicely. Take the camera out of my face.
Okay, but you're how you're following the camera. You see what you're doing?
Move the camera away from my face.
But you notice how you're moving towards the camera?
Can you please move the camera away from me?
But you see how the camera is moving somewhere and you're being attracted towards the camera?
Please, I'm asking you.
You notice how your body is being magnetically attracted towards the camera that you are verbally attempting to repel.
I'm not
you notice that?
anything. I'm asking you to turn the camera
But you
away
notice
from
the
my face.
contradiction.
That's violation of privacy.
But let's discuss the contradiction.
Can you please take the camera away from my face?
Well, we're just walking around the park minding our own business.
Well, you got the camera in my mouth.
But your mouth is faced towards the camera. You're consciously choosing.
The camera towards
You're consciously making a conscious choice to talk towards the camera. You notice that? Will you turn your face away from my camera, please? Will you please? I'm asking you, I'm begging you nicely to please turn your face away from my camera. Please don't point that face at my camera. You're breaking the camera.
That's one of the things that I'm 100% certain is I never want to do. But all I can say is that, you know, it is a constant work in progress because of the fact that I'm bound and determined to at least make up for any of all of that lost time, that neglect. Because I don't, and I don't. I know this. I know my daughters love me deeply, and have been there for me, and are beyond Melissa, the singular thing that made me think that there was something worth living for. And but you know, it caused a lot of pain. You know,
who do you think you hurt the most?
Beyond myself. Definitely my daughters. Yeah. And again, the reason being is that they were older, but they had just lost their Uncle Bo to them.
What do you say? Good meme? Good
everything.
meme.
I mean, he was as present in their lives as he was in mine. And, you know, my brother was not perfect, but he was about as close to perfect as you can be, as a human being. And I really mean that. And I challenge anybody that knew my brother that didn't feel the same way, almost universally. And I know that people talk about people in death as if they are something more than they were. But in my brother's case, I couldn't say enough things that could fully describe what an extraordinary human being he was. And when I graduated from law school, my brother moved in with me and my wife and my two daughters. And he took the third floor of the house that we renovated, this old farmhouse. And he just was never present in their lives also. So the one thing that was probably the most, not intentionally cruel, but cruel is that they lost their Uncle Bo and then they lost me at the same time.
Damn.
And I became so wrapped up and selfish in my own grief. And I don't think that there there's anything that I ever can do to make up for that. And so those are some of the things. Now, do I believe that they've forgiven me for that? Absolutely. I mean, I know they adore me, and I really mean that, and I know that. But it's not up for me to be able to determine whether I've ever made up for what that level, that deep level of hurt that children more than anybody ends up experiencing for a parent that has suffered from addiction.
Do you think they're going to watch this?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
What would you say to them right now?
Oh, everything I've already said to their face is to them personally. I mean, I call them almost every day. Finnegan and I have been in a little bit of a fight about that, but yeah. But is that they are each in their own way extraordinary people that I am immeasurably proud of, and they have been a greater source of strength to me than they will ever fully appreciate. Yeah,
I bet they'll love to hear that.
Yeah, I tell them all the time, and then they, you know, and maybe they call me back, maybe they don't. And then I get my dad calls me. He goes, "Have you talked to Maisie? You talked to Maisie?" I'm like, "Jesus Christ, Dad. Yeah, I tried her. Well, I called her. I got her on the phone. The only thing that makes me mad about my dad is he's an even better grandfather than he is even a parent. But yeah, they're extraordinary women. And you know, one of the things about, you know, like all of this is you know, I sometimes get down like, what the fuck, these people are awful and they're ruining my life.
I sometimes get down. True.
You know, and I think, like, this isn't hard on me. It's them. How hard is it on them? How hard is it for them to walk into work as grown women and working in New York City in an office building, and everybody know who you are, and your dad's on the you know, for no apparent reason other than just to shame me, on the front cover of the New York Post with a crack pipe dangling out, with shirtless, with a woman standing behind him, and then again the next day, and then again the next day, and then again the next day, and so I always, or at least when I start to
They're
feel
like, king.
sorry for myself,
No,
I'm like,
bro,
fuck.
no.
Like, God damn, how lucky am I? How lucky am I that they still pick up the phone? Never stop loving me. I don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. But I have it. And it's an incredible thing.
It's a good way to live.
Yeah, it's a... but God, you know, I still fuck up. I still don't do it the right way. I still let people down. I mean, the only thing that's different now in my life is that I truly don't start from a position of what's in it for me first, in terms of what can I get to alleviate this pain. I at least know that that I'm not ashamed of the mistakes that I make today. Do you know what I mean? It's because I'm certain that I'm trying to be the best person I can be, and I'm doing my best at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying every day, and I know that I'm failing, but it's not. You know, I'm at the same time, I'm comfortable with who I am, and I think a lot of my life, although I wouldn't admit it, is I felt lesser than, for whatever reason. I don't know what you know what I mean? Like, I just, like, you know,
lesser than who?
Anybody. Didn't matter. Felt alone in a crowd, you know? And I felt like like, for instance, like with art, like I wanted to be an artist, you know? No, I ended up going to Yale Law School and you know, having a pretty successful career and doing the things that I did. But, you know, like, I just never, you know, like, I felt like, I'm not good enough. You know, I don't want to show people, you know, my stupid, I mean, I don't know whether it was my poetry or my paintings or my, you know, but that's the person that I wanted to be. And I didn't have the courage when I was that age to do it. And I had to be completely, utterly broken, humiliated, and dehumanized in order for me to say to myself, fuck everybody else. You just be who the fuck you are. You know, I mean, everybody tells me to stop using the fucking F word so much, but fuck you. You know what I mean?
I get told that all the time too.
You know, it's like, I don't know, but like, I don't have to be anything except exactly who I am. And I don't owe you any explanation, but I owe myself to be radically honest with when I fuck up and what is my responsibility and when I should say sorry to somebody. But the one thing I know about anybody that's ever come into, you know, into recovery, decided that they got to stop using or they got to stop drinking. And, you know, a lot of people can drink and use responsibly. But anybody that I know that decided not to, they didn't come in on a fucking winning streak, man. They didn't decide to stop drinking because, you know, things were so good. But when they put that down, and what are they gonna, you know, what fills that hole? And for so long in my recovery, I didn't have anything to fill that hole because I didn't feel whole. I didn't feel like I was being honest with myself about who I wanted to be or, you know, anything.
What got you there?
The complete and utter, you know, destruction of my ego.
Psychedelics?
No, I think that I think that everything was a little bit of a step towards that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the gift that was given to me by the most horrendous people in the world. Is the people that, you know, stole my digital images and put them in the New York Post. And Miranda Devine used me to, you know, to cash her checks and you know, and the Daily Mail, you know, I mean, like, all of that. The worst humiliation, I think, that in a modern digital age.
That's what you mean by destruction of the ego?
Yes, completely. Because you have to decide, is that you? And if it isn't, then who are you? Then who the fuck are you? And you realize is that I in the past would think, I think that a lot of addicts do this. They watch you, okay? And I would put you on this pedestal, okay? Somebody that I respected, somebody that served, somebody that put themselves physically in harm's way on behalf of other people. Somebody who had the discipline and the courage to do the things that you did. And so that's your outward persona. And I would compare myself to you. And I would think, I'm never going to live up to that. And,
so why bother?
And then something in your life happens, like they completely dehumanize you through, you know, I mean, by the way, imagine if I was a woman. Imagine if I was Ivanka Trump. And I know that sounds really silly, but just say they released one, you know, nude selfie of how crazy would people fucking go about the violation of privacy that is? How insane would they go? Rightfully so. But I was the crack addict, degenerate son of the former vice president of the United States, and I was fair game in the world. And I had a decision that I had to make, is when I would think, I would become obsessed with the idea, like, how do I ever earn your respect again? And then I realized, and I don't know whether it was there was no, like, light bulb moment. It wasn't like being struck by lightning, but just gradually I just realized, like every day that I got out of bed and I put one foot in front of the other and I sat down and I painted and I shared what I made in my creation with the people around me and then a wider group of people, and then pick up the phone and call somebody else that was sick and suffering and would try to be of service to somebody that was looking for a way out. And just as long as I was true to myself and try to make amends with the people that I needed to make amends with, as long as I fucking did that, I could get to the next day. I don't know if I'm explaining it in any way that makes sense, but they completely deconstructed me. And that humiliation and dehumanization, which was a full-time 24/7 campaign that was directly coordinated, right from the president. I mean, the whole Where's Hunter thing. I mean, you don't know what kind of havoc that wreaked in my life, man. When he started to say Where's Hunter in front of 70,000, 50,000, 30,000, whatever crowd size he made up in his head, and they aired it on every single cable channel and played it over and over again on Fox News, surprise, surprise, people showed up at my fucking house with bullhorns in the middle of the night and followed us. I didn't have any security. My wife was pregnant. They ran her off the road twice. I mean, it has real world consequences, man. And then so we moved a second time in the middle of the night, and we were in Venice, and we lived on the canal, and one of my friends had put us in this place until they found us there. And then they got canoes, and they sat out in the canal, as far away as that wall, with a bullhorn, for hours on hours and hours with a 6-month-old, screaming, yelling for me to come out. And then they got a billboard truck, and they parked the billboard truck, a full-size billboard, digital billboard truck, and ran in front of, and sat in front of the house, and ran all of the pictures from the laptop. Of me naked, of me smoking crack, of me being, a criminal. For a week, for 10 days, for 2 weeks until we moved. And then they followed us there. And so it had real world consequences, but it put me in a position of having to make a choice every day. Am I that? And if I'm not, who am I? Who am I? Am I the character that Tucker Carlson makes me out to be? Or, who am I? And I think that I've answered that question. I think that but that's for me. And, I guess the one thing I've learned is this. You talk about that book that you recommend to everybody, which is basically the red letter words of Christ. Do
you want one?
I'd love one. I already have it on a book on tape. I had it before you said that I'd gotten it, and on audio. I'd love the hard copy. But what's the singular message of Christ?
Love.
In my opinion, love. Love one another, love your neighbor, and love God. And do not judge unless you want to be judged. But more than anything, it's just love. And that's what I think. Like what's the real epiphany? Is that the first place that you got to love is yourself. And if you're going to love yourself, you got to be honest with yourself. Because how do you love the person that's keeping the secret about the thing that you're ashamed of? You just can't. It's impossible. And I figured out how to love myself. And that doesn't mean that I don't fuck up and I certainly fail every day at applying at least the way in which, by the way, I think that you find the same lessons in not just in the red letters of Christ, the actual words that he spoke. I think you find it in the Bhagavad Gita. I think you find it throughout all the Upanishads. I think that you find it in all of the most sacred texts. Is that it comes down to one thing. And you asked me before, is how are we going to find our way out of this as a country, as a people, is the only way I know is the thing that people are desperate fucking for is connection. It's the only way. And that's what each one of these messages is about, of all of the sacred texts, is that we are all connected.
We are,
whether we think it or not. I mean, literally down to the scientific level that Carl Sagan has taught us, is that literally we are stardust, and we are all connected, and we are not just in the metaphysical sense, but in the actual physical sense. And unless, for me, to just go back to me, is that unless you figure out a way to love yourself, then all you're going to end up doing is hurting other people. Anyway, I don't know if that makes sense to you.
That makes sense. I mean, we had a conversation offline about psychedelics.
Yeah.
And we talked about 5-MeO-DMT.
Yeah.
And we had, I guess we can't say the exact same experience, but yeah, we had the same experience. And that experience, however you arrive there, is probably different. But
I don't think so.
When you arrive
in a video game,
you feel the oneness. You feel the connectivity. You see that everything's connected. I mean, you described it. You described it the exact same way that I described it when I took it. I don't know if you were blindfolded or if you weren't.
For the 5-MeO, I was. For the Ibogaine, I was not.
I took the blindfold off for the 5-MeO.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And I had no visualizations no hallucinations, none of that.
Yeah.
What I did have was a very profound intuitiveness, and it showed me. I could feel the flow of energy going through everything. I could feel it come through the ocean, onto the islands, back into the ocean, onto the beach, up the trees and the grass and the birds and the air, everything. You could, it became, everything is one, everything is good, and if there's something bad, then it would have been like a spotlight in the dark. You would have been able to point it out immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
yeah.
And that's what I felt, and that's what you described. And so, you know, when you're talking about judgment and ridicule and all of these things, I mean, in the end, I mean, if you're spewing that shit into the fucking ecosystem, into the world, it's going to come back on you. And if you spread goodness throughout the world, then that also is going to come back on you. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the major life lessons I think that I learned that day. Probably not even realizing that I learned it that day.
Wow.
But
no, yeah.
You know, it showed me that if I treat you like shit or put anybody else in front of me and I treat that person like shit, that's treating myself like shit, because that's got to fucking come back to me.
Yeah.
Because it's all connected.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. And and it's that experience for me didn't have the same level of kind of a profound immediate effect as related to my sobriety, but it was here's the really interesting part about it. It's the only drug that I know that I haven't that I've taken and enjoyed.
And not want to do more?
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like the desperate need to try 5-MeO again.
You know, I've done it a handful of times.
Yeah.
I do it maybe once every couple of years to
and
clean
I guess
myself out.
My point about
but
it is
no, I don't crave it because I have a very healthy respect for it and a tremendous amount of fear.
Okay, yeah. And that's what I was about to say, is that I think that I came to that experience with Ibogaine and 5-MeO with the right respect for and reverence for the plant medicine time. I tried ayahuasca in a different environment for the same purpose and had a very, very, very horrible, dark experience. But I came to it with a very insincere intentions. And both ostensibly in an attempt to find sobriety. I think that there is so much incredible promise in some of these plant medicines as it relates to people that suffer from PTSD, particularly in the studies that they've done in the communities. I know that you talked to Governor Newsom about that, and they're making some real inroads. But
Newsom drop.
But just all I can talk about it is from the personal experience and how it informs me as, like, you know, what was the thing that made me ready? I don't know. The combination of attempts that I made that all led up to me being open and willing to like look in Melissa's eyes, and when she said this ends now, to say okay to a stranger.
God damn it.
And put myself at the mercy of someone, the trust that they are going to help me do the hard work. But anyway, I think people are desperate to be connected, and I think that is both a beautiful thing and one of the things that has exposed people to and made them very easy targets, including myself, to the algorithms that I, bent to the need to be a part of something. The easiest thing to be a part of is hate.
Mm-hmm.
It's the easiest thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really easy to get people to band together to
be haters,
to blame somebody else, whether it's a group or an individual.
True.
And that's why I give people a real break, and I can understand. Like, I can imagine. I don't read the comments anymore, but I was in. I'll give you an example. Is that Bowie was he was a year and a couple months old, or a few months old, and it was Halloween of 2021. And so he's like this big, and he's in a
Sentinel Fire
one of those,
please.
Chewbacca costumes. And he was like the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life. And we went with with Melissa, Bo, and my father-in-law, who was visiting from South Africa, and my mother-in-law had just passed 3 months earlier to glioblastoma, like my brother did, almost exactly 5 years apart from my brother, 6.
God damn it.
And Lee, my father-in-law, we went to this little place in Cornell, which is like in the mountains behind Malibu. And I mean, it's rural. I mean, it's as rural as out here, that part of California. And there's this little place, outdoor seating, and it was like that, that in-between time with COVID. And I put Bowie on my shoulders, and it's one of those beautiful, it's Halloween day, and it's like around 4 o'clock, and it's a magnificently beautiful fall day. And we're walking to the car, and this couple comes, like, bursting around the side of the restaurant, because all the tables were outside.
Don't open it.
And the woman has a phone out, she's filming me, with just rage in her eyes. And the guy, who's about my size, is like this far from me, which means he's this far from a 1.5-year-old. It's like the most cutest little thing you've ever seen in your life. And he's screaming, "You fucking criminal! You should fucking be executed! You fucking criminal pedophile! And he's screaming. And the woman's screaming the same thing. And Melissa goes to step in front of us, and at this point we have Secret Service, and the Secret Service like jump in, and we're 2 feet from the car, put us in the car, and we go away. And it was the first actual physical like altercation that I nearly came in, and it really shook my father-in-law. And I went to everybody went to bed. And I'm up and I'm flipping through my phone and my Apple feed, and there's this story that was out that day about a woman that was a school teacher in Orange County, I think, or I forget whether it's Ventura County or Orange County, 8th grade history teacher, and one of her students videotaped her class. And in her class, for close to the 45 full minute of the class, she was teaching her class that Hunter Biden was running a pedophile ring in China, and that he had taken billions of dollars, and that he was responsible with George Soros for being a part of the conspiracy to release COVID at the Wuhan lab, and just went through like every conspiracy, everything the New York Post, everything that Sean Hannity gave a little bit of life to, and every one of those things. And it made me realize this: if you believe that about me, if you really believe that about me, wouldn't it be incumbent upon you to get up from your fucking lunch and fucking scream at me at the least? If you truly believe that I was running a pedophile ring.
He's looting your Sentinel core? No! Is that the Sentinel shooting?
Upon you, as a decent human being, to confront me?
No!
And it made me realize.
No!
Like, what do we fucking do? What do we do now, man? Because I can come here and I can talk to you and I can make it clear and I can say, but you know.
We get it. Hold on. Was that the Sentinel core? No! Should I kill him? I'm not going to. I should. It's Christmas, guys. Come on.
What? There's so much money to be made in that hatred, in those lies. And the realization that how do I combat that? How does anybody combat that in this moment in time? You can say a lot of things about my dad.
He was not
that
on Epstein's Island. Apparently everyone else was.
Policies, or whether you think that he was too old, or whether you think that whatever. But you know what? To say anything other than my dad is the most incredible father I've ever met in my entire life, and is a decent human being that has real empathy and cares about people. It's like, I don't have any problem with you criticizing, but you know how many people believe that my dad is a pedophile? Because some motherfucker stole my sister's trauma diary.
God damn it.
And sold it to Don Jr. and took things in the trauma diary because she had faced sexual violence when she was, that's my sister's story. And then created a idea that my father was a pedophile. Do you know how much that lives?
Yeah, by the way, how wrong were you about the Epstein files? I don't think I was wrong at all. I still stand by the same story. It hasn't changed at all. No evidence to come out of the contrary. Stay mad, motherfucker. Stay mad.
In that world, and how much directly comes from the Trumps? Directly comes from literally people like Don Jr., who was directly involved in that. Who was directly involved in contacting the owners of the gun shop to have them go to the state police to doctor they doctored the form. The actual form? It's not the actual form I filled out.
What do you mean they doctored?
When I went in to buy the gun, okay, you have to come up with you have to have an ID. You have to have a state ID.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have one. And they said no problem. And so when when ATF came to get the form after they were like supposedly tipped off by they forged the form, the actual form of which I was charged with the crime for filling out incorrectly. It wasn't the form that the Department of Justice used to prosecute me was not the actual form. The gun shop owners actually forged it.
How do you know that?
Oh, it's part of the record. You can go look at it in the record. Go look at reporting from the empty wheel and the actual documents. I'll show you the documents. I'll show you the two different things. We tried to get them introduced in court, and the judge said it was irrelevant.
How is it irrelevant?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I will show you, so you can put it up on the thing. 2 separate forms.
We'll put it up.
Yeah.
You have the forms?
Yeah.
We'll put them up.
Yeah. I'll get my lawyers to send them to you. And that's the point, is that my point is that they're literally directly involved in that. And if you can make people believe the worst possible thing, what's that called? I literally have a mental break, but the idea being is that if you can convince people, even a very small subset, that that someone is the worst thing that you could possibly say. What worse could you say about somebody other than that they're a pedophile? Right? I don't think
MAGA, Trump supporter.
that is more like egregious. But if you can convince even 5-10% of the population that somebody's that they think somebody could be a pedophile,
murderer,
then you certainly can convince 35% of the population that you just flood the zone of that shit with, that they are that they're corrupt, or that they were part of some bribery scheme, even if that bribery scheme turns out to be a concoction by a guy that was working with Russian intelligence that is sitting in a jail cell out in California right now in a federal penitentiary. Even if you blow the whole thing up, but that's what they do. And anyway, I guess my whole point, and I'm now talking too much and losing this train of thought, is that people are desperate for connection, and when they find connection in a cause of a common enemy, they feel a part of something. And what we've given each other, not you and me, but this country that we live in right now, all we've given each other is people to think of as enemies.
Yeah.
And it makes me really, and I don't mean this in any saccharine way, it is probably the most devastating, emotionally devastating thing, other than the death of
patrol
family
car key
that I've experienced in my life, is the feeling that this thing that my family has given 50 years of our life to is we're about to lose it. I really feel that, and I don't think that's kind of,
Wait, Miskiff clip. What? Hold on.
Call me Merry Christmas. The chat said that you wanted to call me Merry Christmas.
Well, whatever. How about we mutually wanted to call each other? Oh, welcome to Kick, by the way.
I can say the same to you. Welcome to Kick.
Been on Kick for 3 years now. You're a bit late to the game.
Well, that's because I was shitting on the game, but now I'm here.
Isn't it great though? All the money, all the everything. Isn't Kick just fantastic?
It really is, Paul. It really is. So
I saw your KPP. It's going off.
Yeah, I also saw that tweet of yours about me 3 years ago. That also went off.
Well, listen, the tweet from 3 years ago was unfortunate, but you know.
You actually want to know the truth?
I mean, yeah, I do.
He genuinely thought you were one of the best streamers, and I'm being serious.
All right, well then, why the fuck does he ignore all of my appeals?
Because I don't think it's him.
Yeah, I mean, I know the true answer, but what? So you're saying the CEO has no power?
I would say that when it comes to you, he has no power. Specifically
Dan
you.
Clancy is a gargoyle.
Yeah, I know.
And I think you know.
Is it because of the previous CEO?
I think it does not have to do with Dan. I know it's other people in the company that don't like specifically like you and Deslip.
Hey, that's me.
It's not Dan.
No, I mean, if
Dan is very much. I'll tell you what Dan's always been like. He wants to unban as many people as possible because he thinks he's very much of a person that believes in second chances.
I used to fall for that propaganda. Not anymore. My community is not nearly as toxic as some of these other ones.
But you gotta realize,
you know, Hassan's community literally calls for the death of standing politicians.
10 toes down.
No, but I'm saying that's what they see.
melodrama. You know, I listen to you and I listen to other people that are on the other side of this that say the same thing. And I kind of look at them and I think, like, God, can you not see that we're trying to figure out the same thing? Can you not see the humanity in me? Because I'm not the person that high school
humanity
informed by Alex Jones and, Jesse Waters would have you believe that I am. Promise you I'm not. Spend a minute. Because those motherfuckers, they got one thing that they're doing. They're making money. As we all suffer.
True.
They're just laughing all the way to the bank.
That's you, buddy. You're part of that.
It's a damn shame.
You know, driving with a friend of mine, he's a really close friend. He's had some real health problems. And I came back in Delaware and I took him out to lunch. And we drove by one of those like huge American flags. And I used to fill me with an enormous sense of pride. And driving by it, and he goes, Jesus Christ. And I don't know of anybody that's more patriotic than this person. He's like, makes me cry. Makes me cry. And I'm like, thinking, who did I fucking let take that away from me? I think I'm mad at myself. You know, I get so angry, and I find that the things that I get angry about are from the perspective of a son. You know, like, I really went off on George Clooney, and I really went off on the Pod Save America guys. And the reason I did is because I think they're a bunch of fucking arrogant fucks. I do. I think that Jake Tapper is a pompous, arrogant fuck. But you know what? I think they love this country. I don't think that they're bad people. I think they're just arrogant fucking fucks. From my own personal experience. And my point is that, like, when did I allow anybody to steal that pride from me?
What is with Jake Tapper?
He's such a. I mean, look, I almost got in a fight with Jake Tapper at the Super Bowl in, I forget when it was. I mean, the first Eagles Super Bowl, not the first, but it must have been. It was shortly after my brother's death, and he had done something that I thought was totally fucked up. And I told him I would fucking, if it weren't in front of a lot of people, I would knock him the fuck out. And this is how much of a pussy he is. He called me dad and demanded an apology.
What?
Yeah. He's a grown fucking man. He
King.
called one of my dad's staff person. He goes and he said, I felt threatened, and Hunter owes me an apology. And by the way, I felt incredibly justified. I'm not going to tell this story because it's too convoluted. But just that's who Jake Tapper is. I mean, you know, talks big, hides behind a pen in a desk, and I don't think that he contributes in any way to the discourse or provides any real journalism whatsoever.
Damn.
And so I'm allowed to have my own personal feelings, but my whole point of it is that, like, who cares though?
Is he the one that kind of like, did he write a book about your dad's cognitive decline and released it like right at the very end of the
Yes, right at the end, like within 2 weeks of the
way to jump on the bandwagon, bud.
Yeah.
You're about,
and by the way,
3 years and 6 months too fucking late.
Yeah, no sources. No on the record sources.
No shit?
None.
Wow.
Nobody on the record will go on the record. But, you know, he was certain and he was absolutely this and that and the other thing. He's just so full of shit. Anyway.
He really came around to the narrative early on that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Just like you about Trump in a couple years. If he's not already.
A world of incredibly disingenuous.
Whoa.
But
Spider-Man.
I don't know what it is that is, like, I'm at a loss about what it is brings us together.
Who
and
are
that brings
you
us back to this
shooting?
conversation. Is that at the very beginning, you saying to me, I can't believe that you like this. I'm like, what don't you get? Is that I don't get any of that from listening to you. Even though, you even when you platform people that I think are fucking out of their mind. And I don't say platform, but you know what?
Who was he even fighting in there?
From probably the majority of your
Why?
audience are thinking exactly that about me right now.
Guarantee you.
Yeah, guarantee you. But I don't know.
I don't think I'm anywhere near a recall spot, right?
I don't know.
Well,
yeah. I'll tell you how to fix it. I thought you were going to get that gun in the corner. I said, what the fuck?
That would be method number 2.
I literally thought that you were going over to pull that Glock off the fucking... I said, Jesus Christ.
Oh, there's
He's
a
getting real
sentinel!
here.
No! Even on this map! Ah!
What is today, the 16th?
16th. Great. Oh, man. Oh, dude. It's a drawing I did.
That's a drawing?
Yeah. So it's anyway, it's my version of an eagle. You gotta put it in an Amazon frame and put it in the bathroom somewhere. Yeah.
That's not going in an Amazon frame. Are you fucking kidding me?
Anyway.
Dude, thank you. Well, this is awesome.
Thanks, man.
I always wanted some Hunter Biden art.
Well, you got it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where's my Hunter Biden art?
That is awesome.
of course, the next one, according to the New York Post, is at least $500,000. I'll be expecting that. You can pay me in Trump cryptocurrency.
I don't have any of that, but okay. But here you go. Jesus calling.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
That's the only thing that fixes this.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. This is fucking awesome.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad you like it, man.
Thank you, guys.
A lot of dark stuff going on in the world right now, and it's to the point where I don't even believe my own eyes anymore because I cannot verify what people are saying about all the political violence, the division. I partnered with this production company called Ironclad, and we're doing an 8-part audio series on PSYOPs, on why foreign countries, governments, maybe even our own government would conduct a PSYOP on its own people. And I just think that this series is going to be extremely important because it's going to open the eyes of people on why these things happen. You can head over to PsyOpshow.com, order it today. I think you're going to get a lot out of this.
PsyOpshow.com, yes. Finally, some real truth. Ah, the gummies. Nice, good commercial. I support, I approve.
My explanation as it relates to Don Jr.'s involvement with my sister's diary is that I believe with the person that stole it initially brought it to a fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago and got it to like Don Jr., who I think was the one who eventually connected them with the people at Project Veritas, and then they just weaponized it.
Do you mind if I ask, what was the? I mean, I'm just curious. What was the conversation within the family when that came out?
Oh, just got like the
journal.
utter, like barbarity of these people. And I really mean it.
You need to talk to this guy. Live now, extra camping.
Drop.
On Christmas because I'm miserable and I want everyone else to be as well.
Throwing a nade on you. My nade. One more drop. Shotgun right here on mark. Shotgun on mark. Tell us how long we have on the car. I'm down here too.
15 seconds.
Was that me? Did anybody hear me talk in the background? What?
One more drop shot.
Was I part of this?
Shotgun right here on mark. Shotgun on mark. Tell us how long we have on the car. I'm down here too.
15 seconds.
Get on. Kill everybody. Laid up, bitch! Laid, you're not getting on the cart! Laid up, bitch!
Oh, no.
You're not getting any of your loot, bitch! See ya! Woo! Dominated! Drop. Throwing a nade on you.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's like how do you get away with that and not pay for it? I mean, like again, like let's move this into the laptop. Okay, it's the same thing and writ large, you know, in which you steal someone's digital life and you turn it into whatever boogeyman that you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And just from let's just go to the most basic level of how wrong that is, of what a incredible invasion of anyone's privacy that is. And for instance, is it if I stole your phone, you have an encrypted phone, and I was able to then cobble together or broke into your iCloud, of which I know that they did, or and cobbled together whatever they ended up calling a laptop, okay? And then and was able to, through the worst period in your life, okay, which you talk openly about. You talk openly about, your issues with substances that didn't make you proud, who you been and try to change. And I took those moments, and I took the every photo that was taken of you during that time in the worst period of your life and made a monster out of you in order to, and I know that it was never about me. It was about my dad. And it was to destroy my dad. I think that the thing that they truly thought, I think that the thing that Steve Bannon and Rudy Giuliani believed was that they would be able to repeat history in the same way that they, and do the same thing
With
that
Hillary's
they did
emails. Yep. Say it.
Senator Muskie in 1972.
Fuck. Never mind. Just kidding.
And they broke into his wife's psychiatrist's office. They stole their private notes. They revealed that she was struggled with alcoholism and every other embarrassing thing about her. And Edwin Muskie, everybody knew, who was a decent, hardworking, blue-collar senator from New Hampshire, that by all accounts was the only guy that could beat Nixon at that time. And they broke him. They broke him because they knew there was nothing that he cared about more in this world than his relationship with his wife and his family. And they broke him. And he cried on stage and talking about her in a time in which that was, the end of somebody's political career, and he had to drop out of the race. And that was what their intent was with me. It was never about because there is no evidence of corruption in the laptop. None. Tell me what you think the laptop is. I mean, what
do I think the laptop is? I think that I found out about the laptop. I think the first time I found out about the laptop, I interviewed this guy Peter Schweitzer, and that was, if I remember correctly, it was years ago. That was a major part of the interview. And he actually gave me a hard drive of the laptop.
Yeah.
And said that this had been scrubbed to take all the kiddie porn off of it. Otherwise, I couldn't have this. It would be illegal.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Exactly.
I never opened it because I just.
Yeah, but that's my point. That's the shit that they did.
That's what they said. And then of course all the pictures of you with hookers and the Burisma emails, and apparently it was all on there.
Yeah, but for instance,
in that you had dropped it off to a laptop repair guy.
Yeah. So, but for instance, just that is that. Remember, the first thing that Rudy Giuliani did, it's called eliminationist rhetoric, is that he went to the steps of the Newcastle County Courthouse in Delaware and stood on the steps and demanded a meeting with the chief of the Newcastle County Police in Delaware and the state police and the attorney general and the U.S. attorney. And he said basically he pulled a one of those. I have here in my hands evidence of mistreatment of children and blah 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 blah. It's just all complete and utter bullshit. So Peter Schweitzer, Breitbart, he said they had to scrub it of images of children. Let me ask you a question. Do you think those images would have come out by now? I mean, it is absolutely insane, in a complete and utter fabrication, a complete lie, completely. But that's where they started, because they realized that it didn't have any evidence of the corruption that they then concocted about a bribe or billions of dollars flowing through, like you say, the Burisma emails. Yeah, there were emails from and to Burisma from me as a board member of a company in which I served on, and I was transparent about, and I actually put out a press release about, in which show no evidence of any whatsoever criminal activity, any involvement of my father. Not one single communication between me and anyone in my dad's staff or my dad or anyone about me asking for a favor on behalf of a client.
True.
Not one. Not a single one. So what they originally revert to? They originally reverted to basically accusing me of the worst thing that you could possibly ever accuse anybody of. That.
Child porn.
Yeah. I mean, imagine having to wake up from that. Wake up the next day.
Imagine that. That would be crazy.
From that.
How do you even continue on?
And thinking, even if one of the people that you respect in the world believed that could be true.
Be pretty bad.
Like, oh my God.
What a horrible thing.
Like, how do you ever get out of bed? And then how do you defend yourself, Sean? What do you go out and do this? You go, I'm not a pedophile. I'm not a pedophile. Like, literally. Like, I don't beat my wife.
True.
You know what I mean? And that's what they did. And then they just repeated it over and over again until it kind of played out, until at least some responsible journalists said, okay, like, we're not going to keep repeating this because it's patently false and there's zero evidence of it. So then they moved on to the next thing. They moved on to the next thing, that I was the next thing was a symbiotic relationship between the Russian GRU and like Steve Bannon and Gao, the Chinese billionaire, that ran the Chinese, that cult, in which what they determined then is that I was funding weapons labs in Ukraine with George Soros to infect migratory birds to murder the population in Russia.
Was he?
And that was the whole thing. That got me sanctioned by the Russians. They did a 2.5-hour press conference on it, and then it just comes around, and then in the right-wing podcast ecosphere, from Alex Jones back to Russia, back to Chinese operatives, back to Gao, back to Bannon, and then they recycle it again. And then what ends up happening is that the New York Post and Sean Hannity, give it some credence. They don't do it in a way that is completely absurd, but they report on the accusations. And then the New York Times writes a story about the story. And then it gets on CNN, and Jake Tapper does a piece on, well, this may not be true, but clearly there's, Hunter Biden's corrupt. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And what do you do? So I started the day as a pedophile, and I went to bed as some super spy that is providing billions of dollars in funding for weapons labs. And I woke up the next morning being accused of something else. And it became almost impossible. So what I can tell you about the laptop is that there is no laptop. That's bullshit. What was provided out there, there was no fucking laptop. There is an actual physical laptop that somebody had. But the guy that said he had the laptop, the existence of the search for the laptop came before he was even a twinkle in Rudy Giuliani's eye. There were people, talk to Lev Parnas. Lev Parnas literally went to Ukraine to get a laptop from Dmitry Firtash, to get a hard drive, Hunter Biden's hard drive, from Dmitry Firtash and Andrei Turkash in Ukraine, in Austria.
So this is a story, just like forensically and journalistically, that I would have to dig in way more to if I really wanted to try to understand, because so many people just don't know anything about anything to do with data or drives or whatever else. But like I'm giving you, this is like a 15% confidence take, okay? So, like there might be way better information out there, okay? But what it feels like happened here, okay? It was very low confidence. What it feels like happened was there either was a laptop that Hunter Biden dropped off at a repair shop, or there was a guy who just claimed he had a laptop by Hunter Biden, and then a drive was claimed to have come from that laptop, but on that drive, basically a bunch of bad stuff was inserted. So like emails or logins or whatever the fuck else, whatever they wanted to get Hunter Biden for, they put on that laptop drive, and then that became the laptop from hell. That's what, just on like the little bit of reading I've done and the people that have like gone through, because what Sean Ryan just said about how they gave me this copy of this drive and they said they scrubbed the child porn from it, already shows then that you don't have a one-to-one image. And then it's also the people that have looked at, like, because apparently there are forensic copies in some places on the internet of this drive, and people look at, you can see like when files are added, and you can tell like well, this whole chunk of stuff was added and all this. And then somebody just mentioned about the iCloud hack too. Apparently there is evidence that like different, because I guess, I don't know how from the account, but they can pull like the IPs that have looked at like the logins from the iCloud account, and there were different people that had logged into these accounts. Please, God, I just need one Sentinel firing core. And it does look like that somebody gained access to that iCloud account, because you can see like a password reset attempt on some IP address from a different country, whatever bullshit. But yeah, I don't know. That's why only 15% when it should be 95%, because it's possible the shit that I was reading was some fucking bullshit, and I just haven't like done the due diligence to give that like with a high confidence take. But the only issue is most of the people reading, like, this type of attack would not be very sophisticated to do, but most people just don't know anything about, really anything about technology. So, like, if I were to go to your house and I were to just, like, pull a drive out of your computer and just throw a bunch of child porn on it, I could say, like, this is his hard drive from his computer. And it's like, well, it is a hard drive and it might have been your computer, but people just don't understand because they're fucking retarded, so I don't know.
4 months before John Paul McIsaac nobody ever existed.
Yeah, and the issue too, and it's one of the most annoying things, because no conservative is good faith, so they won't even admit this, because they're all like, I can't believe that intelligence said it was Russian and they were all lying and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, hold on. Even if we do believe that every single part of this story is true, you gotta admit that this is a highly unlikely sounding story. A legally blind repair shop owner just remembered that he had a laptop dropped off a couple years ago by Hunter Biden and was able to gain access to the files on the laptop, and it just so happened to have a bunch of incriminating stuff, and he just so happened to want to contact Rudy Giuliani. Like, I mean, like, it's not, I'm not saying that like there's 0% chance that could ever happen, but like, bro, of all the stories that could be bullshit, like propaganda, that kind of sounds like one that would be. Like, that's a pretty sensational fucking story. Like, come on. Oh, Jesus, stop. Going up.
So what they did is they cobbled together stolen, concocted, fabricated mishmash of digital information, largely which is, thousands.
And then it also doesn't help. And God, this is like one of the things that hurts the most with these people. It's losing my head rent free, okay? It also really doesn't help that when you look into all of these fucking people, because I'm pretty sure we went to that guy's fucking YouTube channel, it's not like you have like an ordinary American citizen and it's like, oh my God, like I think I might have gotten this laptop, or oh my God, like it's a normal person, this is what they have. It's always the most conspiratorially crazy people who also believe, like, if we, like, you go through these people's profiles and it's like, oh, hey, they also believe that the mRNA vaccines were created in Israel to kill, you know, all Americans. And they also believe that, you know, Andrew Tate is innocent. They also believe that the deep state, you know, was helping Hillary Clinton murder. And they also believe, like, oh, okay, well, it hurts the credibility so much. And it's like, come on. I don't know. It seems kind of weird. Fuck off!
And thousands of emails from 25 years. I mean, no laptop could have held all of that. And so what they did is they put it all together, and then they talk about it. I mean, John Paul McIsaac, who is literally blind, there's no videotape of me ever dropping off a laptop. There's no,
so
whatever.
You never dropped off a laptop?
I have no recollection whatsoever of ever dropping off a laptop to John Paul McIsaac, to his shop. And so what he did, though, let me just put it this way. Say I took my laptop in to get repaired, okay? And you're John Paul McIsaac. And what he says is he reads, and he goes to repair the laptop, but then he starts to read the files in the laptop. And he reads a file, and he sees files about Burisma. By the way, a board of which I'm on, of an independent private Ukrainian company, in which I am a board member doing corporate governance as an attorney. And he says that the only thing that he can think of doing is calling Rudy Giuliani.
Rudy Giuliani?
He's a laptop repair shop owner.
Rudy
In Wilmington,
Giuliani?
Delaware, whose store is 3.5 miles at most from where my parents live, where everybody knows my parents live. So if he had a laptop that he wanted to return, he thinks that the best thing to do is call Rudy Giuliani's lawyer, Bob Costello, and give it
Kind of
to
weird.
my sworn enemy.
Yeah, a little bit weird there. Isn't that kind
Who then
of
take
weird?
it, and in it, I will once again ask you this question: what crime has anyone ever?
But there was no laptop, right?
No, he took a hard drive. He took whatever he said. He said that he had a damaged laptop, and what he did is he downloaded a hard drive, and then he gave that hard drive to Bob Costello. And then from that hard drive, you have people like Patrick Byrne and Jack Maxey and a whole bunch of other people. Like, I could list the names that come together. There's one woman that's like known as Cat Lady or something like that, literally. And what they say that they did is they cobbled together all of this digital material that was floating out everywhere. That had been stolen from phones, that had been taken from the dark web, that had been taken from the hard drive that John Paul
consolidated it all.
And they consolidated it all, and they made it out to be this thing. And so then the story doesn't become about the laptop at all. Because there's nothing in the laptop other than a record of me being a degenerate drug addict, at the worst moment in my life. At the worst moment of my life, of people clearly, me not taking selfies, of people clearly taking pictures of me in the rooms that I found myself in. Smoking crack, doing drugs, doing whatever. Nothing criminal. Other than, obviously, drug use. And what other people would think is, you know, abhorrent behavior. I mean, whatever. Having sex with women. And so they take that, and then you can say whatever you want.
Good.
No one read the stories. When you put me naked on the front page of the New York Post over and over again with a crack pipe in my mouth, it becomes like gold. And Miranda Devine said it was the most read, the most followed story in the history of the paper.
Yeah.
She's written and sold 2 best-selling books based upon that.
Wait, what? How could it be the most followed story in the history of the paper? I thought it was so heavily censored. You know, motherfuckers think that story was... Who did I talk to last where I asked them about it? Or maybe I heard somebody talking about it. Somebody thought that story was censored until after the fucking U.S. election. And I'm like, excuse me, what? Are you fucking retarded?
And it's all about the pictures. It's like sex, drugs, and politics, man. And that's what they did. And so then it became about the cover-up of the laptop story. You know why Twitter took down that story? Because
hack materials
non-consensual pornography. It's because under what is the law today that was pushed by Melania Trump, it's revenge porn. You're not allowed to take pictures.
Also, fuck, I should know this. Did Twitter take down the story initially? Or did they just have it so that for 24 hours, it was if you clicked the story, it was a warning link that it was taking you to a site? I don't remember if they completely delisted it, or if they threw up that warning link, or if they delisted it initially and then the warning link came after. I don't remember. I don't know. It could have been that they, for 24 hours, it was completely delisted, and then they put the warning link after, maybe.
That is stolen from somebody's digital material of them in naked and with another person and publish it. I mean, you're not allowed to do that. It's a crime. But in my instance, and so that's what the New York Post story ran in the initial story, and it had naked pictures of me in there. And under the terms of Twitter, they took it down when I objected to it. So you got to take that down. And so they took it down, and then that became the hobby horse for everybody. Is that it was an issue of free speech and how the deep state, buried the story. What story? That I was a drug addict, and then I was in rooms in which people took pictures of me, and I took pictures of myself. Because otherwise, I've sat across from journalists. I've sat across from detractors.
Never
and
have
I don't know of anybody
never
that's kind of
critically engaged.
At least more informed than you are in terms of the number of people that have come through this studio that have had an opinion about it.
That know
and I know that
nothing
you
about
prepare,
it.
And you have a team that prepares. Has anyone on your team ever been able to tell you of any crime other than crimes of as it relates to illicit drug use?
The big guy.
That is on the laptop.
The big guy.
And I mean, wouldn't you have, if there were, wouldn't you come, and by the way, obviously, like, it's all there, Sean. Like, there's nothing more to show. So there's not a single instance of a crime. And I told you, is that I got investigated by Crim Tax and Maine Justice. I got 6 years of investigation of the U.S. Attorney in the state of Delaware. In the state,
Senate Judiciary
in
Committee,
Pittsburgh,
Congressional,
in Baltimore Field Office,
or
the
House,
Philadelphia Field Office,
whatever
the U.S.
committee.
Attorney in Los Angeles, the House Ways and Means Committee, the House Judiciary Committee, the House
Did you say the
Oversight
special
Committee,
prosecutor
the Senate
already?
Judiciary Committee, Oversight Committee. Every one of them, and probably a number of foreign,
things that you don't know about?
Foreign intelligence agencies. Not a single criminal act has been even accused of me that is
relates
based
to
on
any of that
evidence
bullshit.
from the laptop. So the irony is that the thing that they hang around my neck as being this this great sin, the laptop, is in actuality evidence of the absolute bullshit of their accusations.
Wow.
So they say that I was engaged in some type of bribery in Ukraine. Now, the person that stated that to an FBI agent in an FD 1023,
Admitted to lying to the
confidential
FBI.
informant statement, was then arrested by the same special prosecutor that was prosecuting me, because they blew up my plea deal because you had Congress come to the U.S. Attorney and say, this is bullshit. We know that he was engaged in bribery because we have an FD 1023, a private confidential thing, an informant that claims that he was engaged in bribery and has evidence of it. So they blow up my plea deal, okay, because of that. And they pretend like it was because some confusion as it relates to, I had immunity. Everybody gets immunity when they do a plea deal. Why would you enter a plea deal if you didn't get immunity from the federal government that they weren't going to come back and, charge you with something else?
Duh, yeah.
And so they blow up the plea deal, and they bring this guy in, the informant, Smirnov. And they bring him in, and they say, okay, tell us about this bribery. But tell us about this FD 1023.
I just like that he knows so many little things, because he's obviously not fucking retarded, right? I feel like Rob Norris, somebody said this or whatever. It's like, they gave the guy who was working on this stuff in Hillary, they gave him immunity to do this. And it's like, yeah, no fucking shit. Why the fuck would you agree to talk to the feds and incriminate yourself? You are willingly giving up your Fifth Amendment right to not incriminate yourself. Why wouldn't you have some kind of exchange there in exchange for a plea deal? No shit. Otherwise, you're not gonna fucking say anything. No shit, Sherlock. True. Sorry. Come to me.
That you have members of Congress out there waving around as evidence of Joe Biden's corruption. And he basically breaks down and says, it's all bullshit. He was encouraged to do so by others. He was encouraged to do so by people in intelligence, in Russian intelligence. That's the story. Go read the story about Smirnov, who's sitting in jail, serving a sentence for lying on the FD 1023. Well, now that story blows up, what do they do?
And then the thing that sucks, maybe it's easier with Hunter Biden since it's literally his life personally. But like when I'm on shows and I'm talking, or if I'm ever talking to a conservative like this, the annoying thing is that you are telling them all of this information for the very first time. And they have heard their algorithms, they've heard other podcasters, they've heard now people in the Trump administration, they've heard all these other political figures, all these investigators, all these alternative media figures, all these bullshit conservative journalists, they've heard these people adjacent to Trump. All these people have said one thing, and now this one guy comes in and says something completely the opposite. Why the fuck would you believe this guy, right? You're fighting against so much misinformation, because every single thing that Hunter has said in regards to his life is the complete and total fucking opposite of what he's heard historically. So like it's such an uphill battle. I grab a Coca-Cola. But also, the most annoying thing about all of it is that for everything that you say on the Democrat side, or for everything that Hunter Biden is talking about now, there's like, here's the paperwork, here's the evidence, here's the transcript, here are the indictments, here are the convictions, here is like all the evidence for all the claims directly, 1-to-1. And then on the other side is like, where's your evidence? Well, when he said, when that guy wrote the email about the big guy, we know that at some point Joe Biden saw this guy at a dinner, and he was, I don't know if he was the vice president at the time or not, but like we know that Hunter Biden was on the board for Burisma, and we know that it could have been advantageous, and like out of no evidence, you have no evidence of anything, you're spinning the largest conspiracy that would have ever existed in the entire United States. Just like the 2020 election fraud. What you are alleging are, these would be the largest conspiracies that have ever happened, basically. This would rival or surpass Iran-Contra, some of the largest conspiracies of all U.S. history, with nothing, with air. No evidence at all. And it's like, what the fuck?
3 days before the statute of limitation runs on these charges, they charge me.
Yeah, you could seriously, you could hold a gun to a conservative's head and you could say, you have two options. You either need to tell me a single piece of information about the informant for Hunter Biden's stuff. Did he lie? Do you know anything about what he said? Or you need to draw a photorealistic render of the bottom of Hunter Biden's cock while erect. Which do you choose? And they'd already have like half the cock fucking drawn because they've seen so many videos and pictures of it. I was like, how do you not know? You don't know fucking anything about anything related to this? You don't know anything about it?
Now that that story blows up, what do they do? 3 days before the statute of limitation runs on these charges, they charge me with the things that they had just come to a plea with me on. Anyway, man, the laptop. Once again, there are people out there that have just dined out on this, the laptop, and it's become a kind of buzzword for, corruption of some kind of like, epic, roadmap to the Biden crime family. Tell me, other than me being a
blanket, I'm sorry, we gotta watch again. I'm sorry, this will just always be my favorite. I need to have this on. It's not Gomer, it's Comer. This will just, like, what's your evidence? Well, here's literally the indictment / conviction / testimony / all under oath and everything. What's your evidence? You want evidence that the Hunter Biden crime family is getting paid off? I'll do you one better. Let me connect China directly to Joe Biden's bank account.
Biden told the American people that his son didn't make any money in China.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about, China?
Well, not only did he lie about his son Hunter making money in China, but it also turns out that $40,000 in laundered China money landed in Joe Biden's bank account in the form of a personal check. And the Oversight Committee has it. Here's how Joe Biden benefited.
Years of investigation is what we got here, okay?
From his family's shady deal with CEFC, a Chinese Communist Party-linked company. It all began with a shakedown in the summer of 2017, when Hunter Biden sent a message to his CEFC associate demanding a $10 million capital payment. As Hunter Biden...
A shakedown in 2017 when Trump was president. Am I mixing my years up? Right? So Joe Biden wasn't even vice president anymore. He wasn't, like, what are they even shaking down with? Who's shaking?
$10 capital payment. As Hunter Biden extorted this associate, Hunter claimed he was sitting with his father and that the Biden network would turn on his associate if he didn't pony up the money. The extortion scheme worked. Days later, $5 million flowed in from a Chinese affiliate of CEFC. Over the following 3 weeks, Biden family members made a series of complicated financial transactions to hide the source of the China money. Here's how that happened. First, Northern International Capital, a Chinese company associated with CEFC, wired $5 million to Hudson West 3, a joint venture established by Hunter Biden and a CEFC associate. Then Hudson West 3 sent $400,000 to an entity owned and controlled by Hunter Biden. Next, Hunter Biden wired $150,000 to Lion Hall Group, a company owned by James and Sarah Biden. Sarah Biden then withdrew $50,000 in cash from Lion Hall Group. Later the same day, she deposited it into her and James Biden's personal checking account. A few days later, Sarah Biden cut a check to Joe Biden for $40,000. The memo line of the check said loan repayment. Like the payment to Joe from AmeriCorps funds, it's certainly plausible that this payment where James and Sarah used funds from China was indeed a loan payment to Joe. But even if this $40,000 check was a loan repayment from James Biden, it still shows how Joe benefited from his family cashing in on his name, with money from China no less. Without his family peddling his name and his son threatening a CEFC associate with consequences that he said Joe Biden knew about, James wouldn't.
It's just fucking wild, bro.
Evidence of me being a crack addict. What the laptop tells you. Because not a single person that comes from a good place, like you say, well, 10% from the big guys. Somebody sent me an email about a deal when my dad was not vice president of the United States and when he was not president of the United States, in which they proposed, if that's what they meant, that my dad, the big guy, would get 10% of the deal, of which I never entered into the deal.
Wait, is that a Sentinel?
I never did a deal with them.
Ah!
Well, those details don't make it in.
And so, all of this.
Wait, hold up. First of all, I didn't bring the fucking medication for this. That's a Sentinel thing. I need it. I didn't even know one could spawn there. No! Okay. Hold on. Oh my god, where is it? It's at the top of this place. I didn't even know one could be over there. No! No! Fuck! They spawn on damn battlegrounds here? Yeah, I know that.
Bullshit about, like, for instance, 35 former, they harp on all the time. And then it became about free speech. Well, then it became about the big cover-up of the story, Remember that? And they had hearings on it, and they after Elon bought Twitter and turned it into X, and they had that that reporter's name come on, and he said, lamented the fact that the story was taken down, and the reason it was taken down is because the deep state and the CIA and
True.
Remember when the story was taken down in the Trump administration. My dad wasn't president when the story was taken down. He wasn't vice president when the story was taken down.
What do you think the deep state is?
Trump controlled all levers of government. Twitter took down the story because it violated their own revenge porn laws, because it was publishing pictures of me naked with other people having consensual sex, but without my consent, which is an absolute and complete violation of any of the rules of Twitter or even X as it stands now. That's why they took it down.
No!
Let me ask you that. Is there anybody that's listening to this?
Okay.
If somebody stole your phone for whatever reason and decided that they wanted to accuse you of other things, but the way they were going to do is they were going to show you and your wife having sex, naked in their bedroom, do you think they should be able to?
Hold on. He's not trying to steal my Sentinel part, is he? No. Oh, what's this guy doing? What? He is? Kill him? No, he would never. He's not. No! He set that zip line up. That's not a default zip line. Do you think he has a defib?
do that and put it up on X right now?
No.
And in that, accuse you of other things? Say, Hunter Biden accused of bribery without anything to back it up, but then show a picture of you in a motel room doing drugs, naked, with a woman. Does anybody have the right to do that? Do you think that X shouldn't have taken that down, or that Twitter shouldn't have taken that down? Because I'll tell you what it did is that Bannon's a genius, because then that became the story.
True.
And that became the cover-up.
And
And that became the
Bannon
thing
knew
that
it.
was the great injustice. Which led into the whole J6 thing and to stop the steal part of it. And if they had just let the story of Hunter Biden's laptop come out, they actually that's where how the election was stolen. Is that if the corruption that the laptop proved, well, I keep coming back to, what did it prove? And I keep coming back to the idea. I don't know of anybody that is more informed in terms of the people that they have spoken to than you. Is anybody been able to tell you what Hunter Biden's laptop proves?
No.
I know. And so here I am, 6 years later, John, and I'm still talking about a fucking laptop that actually is not even a laptop. It's an amalgamation of concocted digital material that has been stolen from me over the course of 22 years, and some of it fabricated. And all you got to do is just add a little bit here and there. I mean, that's what Gao did. And there's tapes of it. There's tapes of Gao talking to Bannon the night before the election in 2020, in which he's talking about how they've taken the hard drive to New Zealand and they're manufacturing pictures of me with children in China.
I haven't seen that.
Yes, there's literal. You literally have Gao. I mean, go to the Mother
You have
Jones.
access to that?
Yeah, go to Mother Jones. It's all unreported, but nobody listens. I mean, literally, there
Nobody
are
knows
tapes
anything about that,
of Bannon,
Gao,
Gao,
and-
and others sitting around talking about.
Is that the Chinese media people? Because I've read through one of their things where they talk about
They've stolen the laptop, how they've stolen the hard drive, and how they're manufacturing images because they can do anything. You can say whatever you want at this point. Go listen to the tapes. There's literal tapes.
He was very close to winning outright then and shutting down Trump. That the hard drive from hell stopped his momentum. Then the other thing is the way we drove up Biden's negatives. The only thing that
I've
stopped
heard this
momentum
before.
Was the hard drive from hell, right? And two parts of that were Luda's editorial creativity over the pictures, and really the CCP involvement. That's what shocked the American people. Sleepy Joe, he never drove up Biden's negatives. It was only when we got the hard drive and got it to you that in the post. Yeah. If you look, here's where the Bidens fucked up. From the day the Post story came out, and then you started pumping out, we got you the stuff, and you started just dumping it out, and then the internet started picking it up, and they suppressed it. Remember, the best thing that happened to us was Twitter and Facebook suppressing it, because then everybody wants to see it. Remember, we hammered this guy every day for 10 days with the worst pictures in the world, drug addict, taking money from CCP, from Chinese spies, no response, nothing. And the negatives just keep going up, because people are sitting there going, I didn't know that about Joe Biden, but Joe Biden, not one person came out and said, those pictures are not true, right? Nobody came out and said anything you're saying is not true. Even the wildest allegations. When Trump got COVID, and when Trump had that first debate, within that 1 week period, Biden could have put him away. The campaign would have been over. So Biden would have won with 500 electoral votes. But they didn't do it, and we were able to stop it. So now, I'm not saying Trump's going to win, but we have a fighting chance.
These are legit?
Oh, 100% legit. 100%.
I mean, I would believe Mother Jones, but they wrote a hit piece on me that's complete bullshit.
Well, by the way, the tapes exist, and I will send you the link to the Mother Jones article with the physical tapes that no one's ever denied actually exist. Oh, by the way, with Bannon's partner, Miles Kwok, who by the way is in prison for the next 45 years from stealing over $1.8 billion from Chinese dissidents.
Do you know why
He's the one that lit his apartment on fire when the FBI raided it in the Sherry Netherlands on Park Avenue.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they raided his apartment. He had the penthouse. It's a Sherry Netherlands, or the one right on Park Avenue. And the FBI came in, and all the hard drives went.
If the laptop wasn't dropped off, how did the owner get it? There's no evidence that the owner ever had a laptop owned by Hunter Biden. I don't think there's ever been evidence presented of that ever. I don't. If there is, I'm not aware of it.
Up in flames and burned the whole penthouse apartment on Park Avenue. By the way, Steve Bannon's partner, who at that exact same time, Steve Bannon is sitting with Jeffrey Epstein, coaching him about how he can, fool the American people into the fact that he's not really a fucking pedophile. That's Steve Bannon, who concocted this whole thing, who put this whole thing together. And handed parts.
Is the blind repair guy story fake? I think it is, yeah. But I haven't dug super deep into it, but it just, yeah, there's no footage of Hunter Biden walking in. There's no, I've never seen strong proof that the laptop was ever even his. There is proof that somebody hacked his iCloud account prior to that quote unquote laptop from hell existing. There's a blind computer store owner who says that he walked in. They have a signature from him for what that's worth, but that's it, yeah.
Tip it off to Rudy Giuliani. I mean, it's all there. Talk to Noel Dumpy, his assistant. Talk to Lev Parnas. I mean, Lev Parnas says the entire Russia thing, the entire thing about Ukraine and bribery and the corruption of the Biden family. He was the guy that Giuliani literally deputized, that Trump literally deputized, to go to Ukraine and dig up dirt on me. Talk to Lev Parnas. The partner says it's all bullshit. We made it all up. Then we sat there with John Solomon and Ken Vogel of the New York Times and Rudy and what's his name? I'm going to get the names wrong and I'm going to get sued. But my point is, it's all there. I'm not making any of this shit up. Bob Costello. They literally went to Ukraine and took a dossier and filmed it with OAN from a guy named Derkach, okay, who was a known Russian GRU agent, and I swear to God I'm not making any of this even remotely up, who's wanted for treason, who fled to Russia and now serves in the Duma in Russia as a Russian senator. He's the one that came up with the bullshit bribery thing.
Are you fucking kidding?
No. And by the way, and this is the thing that drives me insane. You can, Rudy Giuliani.
This is not what should drive you insane. What should drive you insane is conservatives are all the most fucking conspiratorially minded motherfuckers in the universe. But when there's some actual huge conspiracy shit right the fuck in front of them, they just haven't even glimpsed it.
With an OAN film crew, with Derkach, who is literally has been tried in absentia and convicted of treason inside of Ukraine, who has fled to Russia and has made it clear that he is a Russian agent. He was sanctioned and convicted in absentia or charged in the United States for being a GRU agent. That's where Giuliani was getting all of his information. He's the one that told them that Dmitry Firtash wanted to sell Hunter Biden's laptop 5 months before 5 months before this, what's his name ever existed, the laptop repair shop guy.
Wow.
I didn't know those details though. That's pretty crazy. That lends a lot more credence to the idea that that laptop really did never even exist.
I can 100% give you each one of these things. I can give you the tape.
But the thing is, like these recordings, they exist. Like the Bannon thing, we read about that and listened to that. The only thing actually that's irritating is they're talking about the tapes existing. I don't think that full tape has ever been published. For some reason, Mother Jones only published excerpts from the conversation, but the transcript of the whole conversation is there. But yeah, it's frustrating. It's like it's all out there. It's on YouTube. Like the fact that phone call exists, the 45-minute full phone call between Rudy Giuliani and like the Zelensky aide, where like 3 or 4 different times he asks them to just announce an investigation into Hunter Biden. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares at all about that call. That's crazy.
Of the Mother Jones, of the conversation between Bannon and Gal and the 4 or 5 other people that were in his apartment the night before, that's when Bannon says that, you know what we're going to do? When he loses the election, we're just going to say it's stolen. That's what we're going to do. He lays out the entire Stop the Steal effort.
And this shit's 100% real. It's
100% real.
It's not that 11 Labs that
100% real.
Or any of that shit.
100% real.
Oh yeah, that's true too. He said that. Yeah, he said that in advance. He's just gonna go out. He's gonna walk out on stage. He's gonna say it's stolen. And then what are they gonna do? He'll say, "Fuck you, it's stolen." This is all reported on. Like, I don't think they've even come out and denied any of this. My point is, any peace resolution is probably gone because the other 3 alternatives, either Biden's up slightly and Trump says he stole it right and he's not leaving, or it's undefined and we can't figure out who's leading and Trump's saying he's stealing it and he's not leaving, or Trump's leading, which is the one they're going to burn the city down after because, and this is what's going to happen, I think right now in the polling, Trump's doing good in Ohio. And remember, Ohio closes at 7:30. It's early. It's an early reporting state. Florida is at 8, and you'll know that. So between by 9 and all. As I sit here today at Saturday afternoon, 10 or 11 o'clock, Trump's going to walk into the Oval Office, tweet out, "I'm the winner, game over, suck on that," right? And literally, they're going to try to burn the city down. It's going to explode. This is one of the reasons, in my opinion, I can't prove this, but I think at this point you could say, this is one of the reasons why the Trump camp was so unfathomably fucking pissed that Fox News even came out and called Arizona, is because it completely, I think, fucked up Trump's ability to try to steal the election on that night. When he was trying to say, "I've won, it's over." I think that that Arizona call, they were so fucking mad. So many calls from Trump surrogates, from Trump's campaign to Fox News to pressure them. And the guy who does all the math and all the bullshit, I think they had to come out on air and talk about it. And they were, oh my God, Trump's camp was so pissed about that early call.
100% real. And so all of this stuff exists, but you know what? Nobody gives a fuck about me in the aftermath of what happened with J6. Nobody gives a fuck about what they did in terms of what I'm talking about, in terms of like the complete dehumanization of me. And so then I became the pariah by everyone. Nobody in the Democratic Party stepped up, except for maybe a couple people that like,
because liberals are fucking pussies about defending their own. My fucking God. They are spineless fucks, bro. Trump could be out there fucking a kid, and the next day, half the conservative party be justifying pedophilia. Not that the liberals should be that extreme, but my God, dude. Liberals are such fucking sniveling cowards. They run at the sight of any fight. It's so fucking cringe.
Stood by me. You want to figure out who's your friend? Here's another gift that they gave me.
True.
I
know. This is, oh my God. My spirit animal. Hello.
Who's really my friend? Because if you were willing to stand with me, or even be seen with me, or be associated with me with any way for a period of time, there was nothing in it for you. Absolutely zero, nothing. The biggest regret that I have is I allowed them to think that I couldn't be around my dad because I would rub off, because I would bring. By the way, like for instance, like this bullshit, the cocaine in the cubby hole in the West Wing.
Oh my God! This story for all of fucking 2 days.
On what fucking planet?
So stupid.
Walking in off of West Exec Avenue with my own Secret Service detail, stopping by the cubby in the situation before you go into the situation room, and deciding that I'm going to put a baggie of cocaine into the cubby hole before I make it on my way to the residence. In what world? In what world does that make even the most insane drug addict like sense of anything? But you know how many people fucking believe that? You've had guests on here who come and accuse me of actually of that being mine. But that could be, I wasn't even there. You know how much time I spent in the White House over the course of the 4 years? I'd say,
how much? How much are we thinking? Was there one visit or no visits? I'm curious.
No more than maybe 8 to 10 days a year.
Oh, okay.
The entire time
8 to 10
my dad
days.
was in office. And this is a family that does everything together. You know how hard that was for me? Not to be there? Just to be there. For him. Like he didn't have a
8
brother.
to 10 days.
And then
That's a long time to
basically virtually lost me because I allowed people to people around him
rig
that I'll
elections
never
and stuff.
forgive for not pushing back. And then you start to think, well, you're the drug addict, Hunter. You're the one that put yourself in those rooms. You're the one that allowed those pictures to be taken or took. You're the one that allowed your stuff to be stolen or lost. You're the one that embarrassed the family. So best just to stay away. Fuck that, man. I figured out a while back.
Fucking A.
Is that was exactly what they
wanted is the isolating thing. True. Which is why, yeah, you should hold other people a little bit more to account because my God, conservatives understand this so fucking well, dude. They are thick as thieves when it comes to getting up to no good or when it comes to being accused of some things. Bro, these motherfuckers are so tight with each other and are so loyal past a fucking fault on all this shit. Meanwhile, they know that you just have to drop the smallest of things into Camp Liberal and all the fucking rats will scurry. Everybody will scatter to the winds.
What they wanted is for me to fail, is for me to relapse. I truly believe that what they really wanted to happen is they wanted to make it impossible for my dad to emotionally, even remotely mount a campaign or to govern, knowing that there's only one thing that he cares more about than this country, and as I think everybody should, is their family. It's his family. And I refused to allow them to do that. And I knew there was one way, the fastest way to fail, is to not figure out how to be clean and sober for good.
Damn.
But I'll tell you what, they're good at it. And I sit here and I talk about, like, the laptop. Or I was on the board of a company, Burisma. You see what they're doing, man? I don't care what you think about anything. I don't know how you can look at what they're doing in the way in which they are profiting off the presidency. Directly profiting and indirectly. Don Jr. opened up a club in Georgetown called the Executive Club. And he's charging people a $500,000 initiation fee to join the club with the stated purpose of the club being it was the place where you can come and rub shoulders with the decision makers in his father's administration. $500,000, the second most expensive club in the country.
Are you serious?
I'm 100% serious. $500,000 to join.
Are you serious? I like how he says it's like it's so unbelievable. And it's like, what if, imagine if there's just some things that are just so stupid. Sometimes I feel like I'm saying things where it's like, this 30-year-old had sex with this 5-year-old, guys, and it's very wrong. He shouldn't be having sex. Like, it's just like so fucking obvious. Like, the fact that Donald Trump has a crypto coin and then literally at Mar-a-Lago said that like the top 30 holders or whatever would get to meet him. It's like, this is literally like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Even if all the Burisma shit was real, it's not even that bad. It's not as bad as this. Like, well,
So they opened a club.
They opened a club, and on opening night of the club, they had half the cabinet there. Of the club.
I didn't even know any of
agency
this.
For a private club run and owned by Don Jr. called the Executive Club. And they state the purpose. It's the place to go to be able to be with the people that are the greatest influence within the administration, cabinet members. He has a private equity company. Don Jr. has a private equity company. It's just in the New York Times, and in the Washington Post, and in the Wall Street Journal, and in every newspaper on page 14, of which his private equity company has a majority stake in a startup drone company that's never produced a drone. Has 13 or 30 employees.
This is
I don't know.
so stupid.
They have the largest loan guarantee of $695 million that the Pentagon has ever issued. And that's just one of the companies in which he has his private equity firm is invested that has contracts with the Pentagon. Just one. You want to talk about? They talk about me doing foreign business. What fucking foreign business are you talking about?
True.
I had a partner who was Chinese. He was part of a private equity company, and we were going to invest in natural gas in the United States, in an industry that I knew of, and it fell apart, and it didn't happen. And I worked on board of a Ukrainian gas company, and as a lawyer, I represented a guy that was from Romania for a 3-month period of time. There's my foreign business. I never had any business with any foreign government ever. They're building towers in Saudi Arabia. They're building towers in the UAE. They're building. They're doing
buying shit in Ukraine and Russia,
spas and golf courses and residential properties in Qatar. They're building on government property that they bought through Jared Kushner's fucking private equity fund, a government-owned island in Albania, I think it is, and they're doing one of the last public spaces in Serbia, a deal directly with the government, and that's just the tip of the fucking iceberg.
Well, don't forget about Gaza.
And Jared Kushner.
The Gaza thing was an ad. That's not even. God, these podcasters are so fucking stupid.
Sure.
he's saying Gaza because he just seen the AI video of it, but that's not.
Is basically, not basically, has flat out stated that Gaza is all about a real estate play, in which it is the best beachfront property in the Mediterranean.
That's nothing.
And they're going to redevelop Gaza. And where are they going to get the money to do it? They're going to get the money from the Saudi royal family. They're going to get it from the Emiratis. They're going to get it from the Qataris. They're going to get it from the Russians. They're going to get it from the oligarchs, from Blavatnik, from all of these guys. From Dmitry Firtash, who has been wanted for extradition in Australia and the United States for the past 10 years. And all of a sudden, he's off the extradition list. But by the way, he's doing a deal with Naftagaz and the Saudis and Don as it relates to the pipeline. As Jared Kushner and what's his name, Witkoff, who has zero experience. Everybody says that I don't have experience. I was a fucking...
This was my point. Yeah. No, we're not. I mean, everybody who knows anything would make this point, right? That the Hunter Biden doesn't have the experience, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, watching Witkoff on that Tucker Carlson show just broke my mind forever. When he didn't know what the Donbas was, or he was using whatever Lugansk and all these weird pronunciations for the other things that are either Russian pronunciations, right? He just had no idea. It's just like, bro, this is our ambassador to Russia. Are we serious right now? That whole family needs to be in prison and throw away the fucking key. That whole Witkoff, everybody associated with him in the global financial whatever bullshit.
And what's his name, Witkoff, who has zero experience. Everybody says that I don't have experience. I was a fucking adjunct professor at Georgetown University School of Foreign fucking Service. I served on 19 different boards. I was the chairman of the board of the largest the largest support group for the largest humanitarian organization in the world. I had traveled the world. I had been to all the places that you were jumping from. I've been, not with a gun, but there in the refugee camps and everywhere else. And they said that I didn't have experience. It's a Yale fucking educated lawyer.
True.
What
the
experience
fuck are you talking about?
Does Don Jr. have?
Or Eric?
In anything other than being handed
being a
check
dick suck
in an office by his dad. Name one. Jared Kushner had the biggest real estate failure in the history of real estate in New York when he bought the 666 building on Fifth Avenue.
Damn.
It had to be bailed out by the Qataris when Trump was president. And we're wondering?
Nobody knows or talks about any of this. Not even the fucking Pod Suck America guy. Nobody talks about. Well, I shouldn't say. I'm sorry, I'm being mean about them. Maybe they. But nobody really covers or goes over any of the crazy shit. You have your was it Kara Swisher, and Scott Galloway. These people go over maybe some of the more tech related stuff or some of the crazy stuff that's going. But all of this shit is just it's so. And it's so accessible. All of this stuff is just so out there. It's so out there. It's in the, official filings and everything else. It's just
whether Hunter Biden I don't get it, man. I really don't. And I sit here and I think like, well, shouldn't that make you fucking mad? Shouldn't that make everybody mad? Forget about me. Forget about whether you think I'm a fucking, crook or whatever you want to believe. They're doing it right in front of our face. I mean, the New Yorker, assessment of how much money that they've made over in the first 10 months is like what $3.4 billion that they can identify in the increase in the wealth of the Trump family in 9 months.
And how much did he get paid total by Burisma? I think it was less than Tim Pool made from Tenet.
By the way, it's not like they're not like directly telling us this, and I don't understand. Like, so if I give myself, or give the people that voted for him the widest latitude with the belief that, like what you said, is because they gave a shit about things. They gave shit about the prioritization of what's wrong in the United States rather than what's wrong overseas. Of us taking care of vets instead of taking care of illegal immigrants. Of all of the shit that you want me to give them the latitude to believe that that's why they voted for Donald Trump. Shouldn't this make you really fucking pissed off?
Hunter, I've been pissed off for a long
Oh,
fucking
I've been
time.
pissed off at everyone.
I mean, I'm not just talking about you, and I don't want to get
generalize it. Oh yeah, I've been pissed off. I hate all these guys. I hate all these guys. Really? You didn't seem like you hated them all when you were constantly dick sucking for one side and constantly throwing the other side of the book. No, actually, I hate they're all evil. They're all bad. Oh, so it was fun when your guy was like up on stage and you were having fun with it all. But now that you realize that he's the worst of them, now they're all bad. Fuck you, loser.
You in trouble, but I can like almost feel like the resistance from your audience of
Yes.
this message coming from me. But let me give you this one. He's in the fucking Epstein files, man.
Yeah.
And that's the reason we're not getting him. And it's like what are we even talking about?
Yeah.
Susie Wiles came out today in a Vanity Fair article. Have you read that?
No.
It says that his chief of staff said that he acts like an alcoholic, and that of course he's in the Epstein files, and that Pam Bondi completely screwed this thing up. And totally screwed them all. That's his sitting chief of staff on the record in Vanity Fair that came out today. And what are we supposed to be distracted by? We're supposed to be distracted by the absolute ugliness of someone taking the barbaric murder of a beloved liberal. He's a beloved liberal, but he made like the movies of that made my generation. A Few Good Men, Misery, Stand By Me, When Harry Met Sally.
Damn,
Like, my
I
God,
didn't know
just as an
that.
artist alone, like
Oh,
Jesus
geez.
God, let's give the guy the reverence that he's due for gifting humanity The Princess Bride as a movie. And he says
I didn't know it was the same director for all those movies. Holy shit.
he was murdered because he was infected by Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah,
He
we'll
basically
throw
deserved it.
the tweet or whatever you call it on Truth Social.
Yeah.
Whatever that. We'll throw it up on screen so everybody can read it. I think.
Yeah, what do you think?
The response that I saw from that was fucking horrendous. And,
Oh yeah, good for you.
And I wanted to bring this up a little earlier, but when you're talking, because you seem surprised at what people believe, and I can see how you would think that from
your
vantage point, from your perspective. But I'll
But
give
can't
you
you-
the perspective of everybody else.
Yeah. When
And so
we
the
see
perspective of everybody else,
Hillary
yes,
Clinton,
we saw, whether they're true, whether they're not fucking true. I don't know. I just don't have the insight.
Yeah,
And I'm not.
I don't know
I'm not
anything.
The person.
I don't read anything.
I think a lot of people are.
I don't do any
painting things as
research.
fact now that are all complete bullshit. It makes it damn near fucking impossible to find if there is any real truth anymore.
Yeah.
But what we see is we just see.
Wait, can you put a
corruption
key thing in here?
That's never corrected, and there are never any consequences. We see Eric Swalwell fucking Chinese spies, still sitting in there. We see, we saw all the corruption with Trump, and whether you believe it, whether you don't believe it, whether you think he's guilty, whether you don't think he's fucking guilty, they went at him hard. Nothing happened. Whether you believe the stuff that happened to you, whether you don't believe it, you know what I mean? Whether the laptop's real, whether it's not, it doesn't matter. Burisma stuff, nothing happened. The stuff, when your dad was president, I can't think of any examples off the top of my head. I know there's 1,000 of them. People are going to get.
I got to stop you.
But
I get it.
But what I'm saying, Hunter, is like you never see, whether
what?
it's true or not true, you never see any fucking accountability on the Democrat side, on the Republican side.
I don't
Right now,
disagree.
you brought it up, the Epstein files.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this shit for I don't know how many fucking years now, and Trump was a big
Hunter
part
wants
of
to
that.
call
and the
him out. Hunter,
Republican Party
please
was a
don't
big
let him
part
get
of
away
that.
with this
Now we got
both
the
sides
fucking
fucking
presidency, we got the
bullshit.
House, and we got the fucking Senate, and we still have zero Epstein files. And I sat right across from the fucking current director of the FBI.
Yep, and he
listened to
fucking
him
lied to you.
spew
Like
lie
you're a
after
fucking loser because
lie
you're a
after
retard
fucking
because he
lie
knew you'd
to me.
fucking
Not even
swallow it all,
realizing
and
he
you
was gonna
did.
get director of the FBI. Well, he's sitting in front of me, but he did fucking get it, and he told us all what he was going to do if he did get it. I don't see anything. I don't see any differences. So you see what I'm saying? Which is just
I know, but
pass the buck, pass the
okay,
buck,
but
pass the
here-
buck.
but
This
John-
guy's guilty. This guy's
No.
guilty.
John,
Never. I mean,
Let him-
we just never fucking see any accountability, and so then it
Let him
becomes
talk.
the political
Let him
elite
talk.
class, the oligarch
Let him
class,
talk.
which you are part of, whether you got a lot of money or not.
Which he's a part of? The guy who's never even done anything with relation to just because he's a family member of? Okay, fine, I guess. Don't know how that doesn't carry over to all of the crazy shit that Trump's doing, but okay, buddy.
In politics for a long time, and you see what I'm getting at. You see people, you see a population of people that are getting beat to shit with
the
fucking,
most offensive thing that you've ever said.
with
oligarch. Oh my god.
with.
All right, I get it. I get it.
You know
I
what I
get what you're
mean?
saying. I get what you're saying.
The
Is
Biden
the perception of it?
oligarchs.
But here's what I want to say to you. There is truth, John. And the fact of the matter is that the only people that are benefiting is how I started off when we started talking 5 hours ago. Who's benefiting?
Them.
Yeah. I sure as hell not.
I see that.
But I'll sit here and answer any question. Like, for instance, let me just like stop you on like one thing. Like Eric Swalwell, that whole thing, bullshit. There is a truth. It's bullshit. It's a total bullshit story.
He didn't fuck a Chinese spy.
He 100% did not fuck a Chinese spy. 100% completely concocted. Have Eric on. Have Eric on the show. I promise you. It's absolute 100% bullshit. But here's the thing. We are all a victim of our algorithms. And so are you. And so am I. And I'm not like pointing the finger.
No, I'm aware, and I don't
And that's
think
my
that-
story about the people that came up to me at the, screaming in my face. But there is a truth, Sean. But who's benefiting? Who's benefiting from turning us all, at each other's throats? Of concocting this bullshit. I'll tell you that to begin with, it's our adversaries. And then on the second, it's the people that really control these fucking things. And it's oligarchs, not political people.
Imagine right there. Be like, think about it. Think about it. Who's benefiting from all of this? Soros, Netanyahu, the Steins, the Bergs, Israel, the military-industrial complex, and our enemies in Iran. Who's controlling all? And he just goes immediately into the JQ shit. And then he nominates Nick Fuentes. He says Fuentes is the one who can lead us.
It is the people that control billions and billions and billions of dollars. And those are the people that are benefiting. 100%. Do you think that Mark Zuckerberg gives a fucking shit about any of this? Do you think that in any way?
No.
I mean, let me point this out.
I mean,
There's a whistleblower. You want to
just watched every single tech billionaire, oligarch, whatever you want to call them, literally switch from the Biden administration right into the Trump administration. They're all there. They were all
They hated
bitching
my
about
dad.
Trump before.
But here's the thing, they hated my dad. What did we do? We brought in the whistleblower. We tried to, not we, I don't have anything to do with the fucking part of it, and I agree with you. Nobody's fucking held them accountable. If you really wanted to be able to hold the social media companies accountable, make them liable like everybody else for fucking killing little girls because they're driving them to suicide. I mean, they literally testified before Congress and the whistleblower and showed how they manipulated the algorithm to send our children into depression and suicidal states. And you know what? They didn't change it even when they were notified of it, and even when they became aware of it, and even when they saw that people were taking their lives, teenagers, kids. They did nothing about it. And we had the facts and the data and all of an actual witness testimony that they did this. What did they do?
Not a damn thing.
And did anyone hold them accountable? Anybody in Congress? You know why? Because the biggest fucking problem that we have in this country is money. Is money in our politics and money in our media. And that's nothing new. But if you want to find a common enemy, I don't understand how they don't realize that people are going to pick up some fucking pitchforks soon, man.
Maybe they do realize it.
Well, I'll tell you what. Maybe that's why they're building their bunkers and their billion-dollar yachts and their hidden structure. I don't know. But at some point, I think what I was saying before is that there is going to be this unholy union between radicals that both come to the same conclusion, is that no one can be trusted and everyone is the enemy and chaos is the only answer. Violence is the only answer. And that's what we're being driven towards. And I really, truly believe that. But there is a truth. There is a truth about, for instance, Eric Swalwell that I know, and I know to be a lie. There is a truth about, let me give you an example. The fucking case against Donald Trump as related in New York was bullshit. I think it was a bullshit fucking case. I think he's a crook. I think that he...
Wait, what?
About, for instance, Eric Swalwell that I know, and I know to be a lie. There is a truth about, let me give you an example. The fucking case against Donald Trump as related in New York was bullshit. I think it was a bullshit fucking case. I think he's a crook. I think that he stole documents. I think that was a real case. I think he tried to overthrow our government. I think that he tried for a fucking coup. I think that was a real case. But the case in New York was bullshit. If you're going to charge him, you should have charged about 14 other real estate magnates in New York for the same fucking shit that he's doing. But what we do...
Oh, I don't know anything about the... I thought he was talking about the payments to Cohen or whatever. I don't know enough about the real estate stuff to say one way or another.
Is that we allow ourselves to be driven by our algorithms to believe things that just are not even remotely true, and which then we all give up. Like you just said, nobody's held accountable. You know why the Biden Justice Department did not? This is the explanation that I have. Why did Joe Biden not demand the release of the Epstein files if it was such a big deal to Democrats?
I don't know.
The same reason that Joe Biden didn't demand that they drop the prosecution of me. because he didn't involve himself with the Department of Justice. Because as every other president before him, other than Richard Nixon, who resigned because of it, he didn't direct the Department of Justice to do one thing or another. Why didn't Merrick Garland do it? Guess as good as mine. I don't know. But I will tell you this, is that now we're here after we have an FBI director, a deputy FBI director, a attorney general, and several other people that are in his cabinet, and the president himself, who largely got elected through the energy of the people that wanted to have, for absolutely the right reasons, these files released, regardless of whose names were in it. And they haven't released it, and they fought it tooth and nail. And then they had to get legislation, and then they passed the legislation, and he said, don't sign it, or don't vote for it. And then he said, go ahead and vote for it. And then we have reports that there's, 100 FBI agents that spent thousands and thousands of hours of scrubbing his name from the files.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Yeah. And now we can't trust anything that's going to come out. Yeah. And who fucking loses? The children. It's not like it's an insignificant thing in any way. And they talk about these, these young women. They weren't young women. Fucking 14-year-olds. Kids, hundreds of them.
More choice.
Entire networks that they developed.
What do you think that was?
What do I think that was?
What do you think this whole Epstein debacle was? Do you think this was
I don't even fucking know at this point. And I really mean it. It's like, I will tell you, is that the only thing that is clear to me is this.
Trump was fucking...
Jeffrey Epstein
just kidding.
And Donald Trump, during a period of his life, were fucking thick as thieves. And Donald Trump has tried to pass this off as being what Palm Beach was in the 90s. Okay? And that may be his view of it. But I've seen enough evidence of Donald Trump and his teen modeling agencies and what he said on Howard Stern about how he would go into the back of these, Miss Teen USA pageants and, walk up to the girls naked. They were talking about girls when he's talking about doing that. And wonder whether or not Donald Trump in his mind has come up with this concoction that it was all just what they did in the 90s. It was models. I mean, that's what Michael Wolff says. Michael Wolff says that the justification in Trump's mind is that they were models.
Wow.
They're 14, 15 years old. I mean, we have a president that has been credibly accused by well over a dozen and a half women, if not more, of sexual assault. And we're wondering whether or not, as he fights tooth and nail for the Epstein files that all of his supporters demanded be released so that they could nail Bill Clinton to a cross. And he won't release him. Why? Out of the kindness of his heart for the people that make it hurt? Have you ever known the president to act out of anything but his own self-interest? Ever? And so we're sitting here and acting as if, like, okay, I'm willing to believe that people can vote for him and support him and overlook the kind of the personal cruelty of his politics. Because, by the way, according to everybody, Donald Trump is an incredibly charming person in person. He really supposedly is.
He is.
I know that he had, I think he told my dad when he came to the White House, he's like, Joe, we would have been best of friends if it weren't for politics. And so, I don't know what kind of sociopathic mind is able to do those things, and then the next day say that Joe Biden is the worst human being to have ever lived, and a corrupt, senile, criminal.
Well, I mean, I talked about this with Megyn Kelly too. She talks about her account on I don't know if you remember that whole debacle back a handful of years ago, but she pretty much says the exact same thing.
Yeah, man. And so I don't, it's just weird we got into, man. I don't know.
I want to tell you something, but I don't want to offend you.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
The thing that makes you look really guilty, and after sitting here with you for 6.5 hours now with the breaks and everything, I find you to be a very genuine person, and I believe you. The thing that makes you look very guilty is the pardon. The pardon from, was it 2014 to, what, 2024 or whatever?
Can I tell you why?
Yeah.
Makes me look guilty? Is because I was found guilty. And that's what a pardon's for.
But it was a blanket pardon.
True. Yeah, because you have to be able to go back because the charges stemmed from over 7 years ago. So they went all the way back to 2015 for my taxes. That's what I was charged with. It's now 2025. Those are the crimes that I was pardoned for, in which I pled guilty to not filing my taxes on time and incorrectly identifying business expenses as personal expenses as business expenses.
That is all it's for.
Yeah.
So
there's like 8 different charges for over 2 different years, but yeah, that's what it is. Those are all that the charges are for. And then there's the gun charge that went back to 2017. So it goes back to the beginning of their investigation as it relates to the tax investigation, which was back to 2014, I believe. And so 2024, it goes back 10 years. And that's the blanket pardon. It's for those crimes. And when you give someone a pardon, that's the pardon that you give them. And the reason to give me the pardon is this, in which I make no apologies for anymore, is this. Do you think that under the Donald Trump Department of Justice that I would have gotten a fair shake? as related to what I knew that I would get a fair shake for, which is I believe that I would have won the appeal. And that 922 G3 is going to be ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, which would nullify my conviction. And I believe that I would have won on an appeal in the way in which they brought the tax case against me. And during that period of time, however, I would have been under the auspices
Is he facing
of the
me
Bureau
or
of
looking
Federal
away?
Prisons,
Oh, that's facing.
which is controlled by Donald Trump, and controlled by Pam Bondi, and controlled by the people that have been saying for over 8 years at that point that I was literally the spawn of the devil. And the demand, even if it wasn't in their interest, the demand from their most vitriolic and hateful followers would have been the same way that they blew up my plea deal, is that I needed to be in jail at that time, that I shouldn't be held on release, that I should be charged with other things, that they really are just letting me off easy, that, you know, I was engaged in
Wait,
bribery.
I didn't just
or
kill that
you don't
guy,
think
right?
That they would have used me if I was under the thumb of the federal government and the Federal Bureau of Parole to silence my dad or silence anybody in my family or silence the people around me? Because that's what they're doing right now to everybody else. And so I don't apologize for it. And then just poorly on a human level. My dad's 83 years old. I'm 55. Even if you think that I fucked up, even if you think that I am, there's not a legal commentator in the world that would say to you that as a first-time offender, I would have ever received a jail sentence for a non-violent crime of owning a gun for 10 days and lying on a form, or for failure to pay my taxes on time and take, after paying penalties and interest, full penalties and interest, $2.8 million, that I would end up serving any time. But do you think that I wouldn't have served time? That it wouldn't have been an enormous amount of pressure to do that?
I'll tell you what I think.
And that they wouldn't have been able to violate me on a parole if they decided that they wanted to take a pee test and
more
tell me that
evidence.
I was, you know, a junkie. Would anybody ever believe me?
I think that, no, they wouldn't believe you. No, I don't think you would received a fair trial.
But none of us do
And
in
with that being
America.
said, I don't think anybody in the Trump family would have received a fair trial.
No, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I do.
I think that we no longer have a fair and just justice.
Listen, I know Hunter Biden's trying to be more kind than I am, okay? I'm so sorry, but to both sides to say, why wouldn't he have gotten a fair trial? Did he not have so many fucking months? Just look at the documents case. How many months did he have of notice from the National Archive and Records Administration? How long on notice was he from the FBI before they finally had to fucking raid Mar-a-Lago and they still never got all the documents back? How many different judges did he have covering for him, from Thomas opining on how unethical it was or illegal it was to have the special prosecutor, to Judge Eileen Cannon kicking that case down the road because she agreed with that the special prosecutor wasn't, like, how many different parts of the legal system were allowed to fully function in a way that ultimately ended up pushing him off from ever having to go to trial on any of these things or even testify about any of these fucking things, right? And to pretend that like both sides here are the same, like, give me a break.
This department.
Tell you what, man, I don't think I won't argue that with you. I won't argue with that with you. And I loathe to think that I'm in any way associated with that, because that's the truth of the matter too, Sean. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, and that like that my dad gave me a pardon. You don't think that like really makes me like feel like fuck, like I'm the poster boy for that. I'm the poster boy for, you know, the elite son of the president who got something nobody else could possibly ever get, simply by the fact of his birth. No matter how much he fucked up, he got away with it. And to your point, you got these guys sitting here trying to figure out how they're going to fucking make ends meet to make it to the end of the week, and that are getting just got pulled over by some fucking state cop that's giving them a fucking hard time, and they come back and they turn on Fox News or they put on the Sean Ryan show, and here's fucking Hunter Biden. Like, he got a pardon, he got something I didn't. It would piss me the fuck off too. I get it. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Like I said, I hope you don't take that the wrong way.
I don't take it personally at all. And it's like, literally, it's one of the things I keep coming back to you about, like, it's like, I've been forced into either deciding that I truly can't exist in any healthy way whatsoever if I gave a shit about what other people think beyond the people that I know that I owe them my respect. And that may be people that I meet, like you, the people that I watch, that I want to earn their respect, like you, like I said. I don't think there's anybody that I learned in my family that we should respect more than the people that, and I'm not blowing fucking smoke, and, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I love guys that, you know, I didn't serve. Well, I did serve. I got kicked out of the Navy. And, but to know that, that's the perception is that I got to get out of bed in the morning and just try to do the fucking right thing. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize for, I will apologize for a lot. I will apologize to my family. I will apologize to my friend. I will apologize to the people in the community that I care about, in which, I mean, I have a lot of people that I've apologized to. I spent 5 years making amends, trying to make amends. And I still owe a lot more amends to a lot of people that I haven't been able to make amends with, or had the bravery or courage enough to do yet. And it's just personal stuff. And, but what I won't apologize for is, for things that I did not do. For bullshit, conspiracy theories that the laptop. I won't apologize for Burisma. It may not have been, the smartest thing to do in retrospect in light of the fact that they tried to impeach my father over it. But I'm not going to apologize for it. I know what I need to apologize for. I've done a lot of it, and I still got a lot to go. But God, I hate. And I'm fully...
Hold on. I am ashamed to say I don't know the answer to this. My understanding was that Hunter Biden was pardoned, was given a blanket pardon for every single crime that he could have ever been accused of. And that was why people were so critical. It wasn't just crimes in connection with the tax and the gun shit, right? Does anybody have a link to the actual pardon? Pretty sure, right? It is in connection with everything, right? It was. Okay. Just making sure. All right.
Fully aware. Every room that I walk in. I walk in with your guys, and I see that you put together a team of people that are like, they're buttoned up. From the guy that picked me up at the airport to, to Jeremy. Like, they're buttoned up guys. And I mean, you just get a sense in that. And I bet you they don't fucking think that I'm a decent human being before I walked in here. I know I walk into that room with the incredible advantage of incredibly low expectations. Because they not only think that I'm, a ne'er-do-well and somebody that's been given all of the advantages of the world and squandered them. They also think that I'm sleazy on top of that, and that I'm a part of the problem. And that's and it's a beautiful thing to be given the space to try to give them a different impression.
What do you think they think now?
Well, I don't know. I think that
fuck that guy.
I probably fucking talk way too much, and that they're thinking, when is he going to shut up? Because we want to go home and eat dinner with our families. I think that's what they're thinking at this point. Is that I've just literally tired them out. I've submission by verbal diarrhea. That's what I think they think. I don't know.
You know what I think they're thinking?
What?
Motherfucker, we got fooled again.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I wish I had the energy to go one by one by the people that, I don't really mean this, the people that remind me of my brother. Anyway.
What would you say to Bo?
Oh, I say to him all the time.
Damn, this was a good ass run. 120K.
Talk to him all
What
the
the
time.
fuck? God damn.
Trying. The one thing that I never, ever, single thing that I never doubted in my life was the love of my brother. Yeah. And he could beat the shit out of me, and I could, we were brothers. I don't know. Then we fought, but never in my life, would ever doubt that no matter what, is that that he would jump off a bridge for me. Yeah, sorry. Jesus Christ, it's been 10 years. I'm still crying over it. But not bad tears. I promise you. It's I feel so incredibly lucky to have that relationship. And still have it. I really mean it. I still have it. I mean, that's the one thing that I'm positive of, is that I am in my best moments, I'm fully 100% connected to that. And God, what a gift. You know?
You talk to him often?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all the time. I mean, there's not a day that goes by. There's probably not, you know, and I don't mean in a melodramatic, macabre way. It's just that, I went through a period of time where I did everything in my power to drown out his voice in my head. I mean, I literally, I in that period of time, I tried to smoke him out. I couldn't do it. And, but there's never a moment, and I really don't mean it in a melodramatic way. There's never a moment that I'm not having a conversation, and usually, he's telling me to shut up. Yeah. Stop talking.
Have you ever got anything back from him?
Oh yeah, I really mean it. I mean, I don't think this is like I 100%. And I don't mean it in like some like cinematic ghost kind of thing, like my brother hovering over my shoulder. It's just that his voice is in my head, like I can hear him talking to me, and I don't mean that it's kind of coming out of left field. It's like when I have a conversation and want to figure out how to do things, it's like I can hear him, kind of whether it's the echo of it or and there's never a time that I don't feel. I feel the same thing about my mom,
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that.
I don't think that people leave us. I think that they. I think that whatever that energy is becomes only discernible to us to the degree with which we are try to tie ourselves in with the rest of the whatever sentient thing. I mean everything. And I don't know. Now I'm getting. People can truly think that.
God damn it.
I'm talking to ghosts, but no, I really mean I talk to my brother all the time.
I talk to him, man.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what people think.
Yeah, no, I don't. I truly don't. I'm giving you an out to be able to say, well, he was a little crazy at that point. But but yeah, I talk to him all the time. Talk to him all the time. I used to write to him in those moments, and just to write it down, and and the messages I get back aren't all sunshine and roses. A lot of it's tough love. A lot of it's telling me, the only thing, what I hear from my brother is the only thing that'll save you is radical honesty with yourself.
And he's right, isn't he?
I said to you guys out there, I said, I just don't I don't feel like, I hope it's not coming off as like I'm like in any way being like defensive. But at the same time, I want to be able to tell the truth. And the truth is that I fucked up a lot of shit. My life, my family, I created Jake Tapper went on some show and after I criticized him for the book that he wrote, he said,
fucking Tapper.
Hunter Biden is demonstrably a scumbag. I think he used the word scumbag, or sleazeball or something like that, who dated his brother's wife and cheated on her brother's widow and cheated on his wife and abandoned his children and went through this whole list of things, and is a known crack addict who who's been a long-term addict and went through this whole fucking list of things. And
fuck Jake, say it.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
I was a crack addict. He showed really poor judgment when I was addicted to drugs. I made real mistakes in my personal life. Never had an intention of cruelty or some kind of venal, I think all of it basically out of grief and trauma and loss and desperation and selfishness to try to fix that, whatever hole was in my heart.
Go to Plaza Rosa.
But haven't we all? And I really mean this. Haven't we all?
Lord knows I have.
Done a little bit of crack? Hell yeah.
Say people like Jake, he cast the first stone, man, who the fuck are you or anybody else for me to judge you? Now, I've had the gift of making it all for everybody to judge. I mean, the gift of realizing that no one else's judgment defines me. I'm just honored that you gave me the space, and I really mean it, to just spend 6 hours. Because who else fucking cares, Sean? I mean, who am I? But it really means the world to me that, and you let everybody else, but more importantly to me, it was just meant to be able to sit with you.
Thank you, man.
Go.
I think that's what it's all about, man. Redemption, And owning your shit.
Greatest story in the history of the world. The redemption story.
You got a hell of a story, man.
No, I still got a long ways to go.
Hopefully.
You want to end this with a prayer?
Yeah.
You want to lead it?
Well, the prayer that I always say is a Hail Mary, because I'm a Catholic boy. So, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now at the hour of our death. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
Hunter.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
What a fucking interview, dude. Thank you.
Wow.
No matter where you're watching Sean Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.
Train. Does that mean it's Gambit time? Now that's what I call a cool story, bro. Jesus. Comments. These don't seem that bad, no? The Twitter ones are worse? Yeah, but I don't know how many people on Twitter are even fucking real anymore.